Fires of detractors celebrating in the night, falling from the pedestal in an endless flight. Everyone's abandoning the sinking ship so fast, losing grip on reality, can't outrun the past.
What is going on, guys? We are back, and what a week it was for DSP. But the question is, did PPP snake Phil? Is the casino arc over? What kind of mental breakdown did Phil have this week? We will get into all that very shortly. And we start off today on Sunday, where we see August the Duck made another video on DSP and titled it "The World's Greediest Streamer Got Worse." And then he mocked him for being toxic towards people in different currencies, and this set the tone for the rest of the week. Then we had King Bean, the GOAT, who got an ad for gout flare-ups. How appropriate. And then, of all people, Hassan mentioned DSP as a LOLCOW.
Time. This is what they get off on. LOLCOWing is what it's called. So any community that hyper focuses on, doing LOLCOW shit will inevitably have these fucking losers all up and down their community. It becomes an incredibly toxic space. Yes. That's what the concept of LOLCOW is, a cow that you farm for the lulz. It was initially relegated to forums. There are prominent examples of this stuff, like Chris Chan, I think. There's, what is it, Dark Side Phil, Boogie 1488. Those are some of the people that have become LOLCOWs. Okay? Some people lean into it.
Then we had Super Puppy going around and striking people, which led to Poem Josh losing his account. However, he would have another account, so don't worry, our brother in arms is still here. Then in a bittersweet moment, Darkside Drill has moved on. He's no longer going to be a DSP detractor. He doesn't find it fun anymore. And I wish him well in whatever he does. He's very talented. And I know, wherever he goes, he will be successful. And then every year, DSP makes the same video, same time of year, daylight savings, and tells people, be on time, because all the streams will start 1 hour earlier. And despite telling people, come early, be here, daylight savings time is happening, he himself was 25 minutes late to work. Then someone started talking about smart guys. And DSP said to the person in the chat, go say it on the vid comments, we need the engagement. And then Cranky, I tried, he tried, but you don't seem to care for anyone who helps you. DSP, I love that you think we were all born yesterday and have no idea what we're doing. It's a bit cute. No, you see, the way you act, it allows me to see that everything is working, so thanks, LOL. Then goes on to say, I'm not treating my fans poorly at all, because you're not my fan and it's obvious. Oh no, DSP bans everyone, LOL. Then DSP started the pre-stream, and he said, hitting halfway to the goal is still a good stream to DSP. Because remember, every time he says, oh, I want the goal hit by the end of the pre-stream, I want the goal hit, come on guys, I want one of everything. I want a super chat, I want a tip, I want a membership, I want a sub. But now it's like, okay, halfway is good. That is, until he gets to halfway and then he wants the full goal. Then apparently DSP was saying there's stuff going on behind the scenes that's stressing him out. But of course, he can't tell you what that is because the trolls will harass him. But trust me, bro, something's going on. He needs your help, dude. So give him money. Hit the goal, dude. Give it to the trolls. And he was begging like crazy. And you know what's coming up? April 15th. Tax time. Tax deadline in the United States. And with how much money he made last year, and how much money he spent this and last year, and him saying, I have nothing saved up, it'll be an interesting ride, especially with what happens later on in the week. And the former alcoholic, Darkside Phil, has decided goal 60 is going to be DSP tries it alcohol. Because definitely, if you have addictions, the best thing to do, according to DSP, is to do it for money.
So, all that being said, that's great. And then on top of all of that, I have another update. I already know after the marathon what the next reward will be at 60. Okay, at 60 goals hit, we are going to have a very special episode of DSP Tries It. Something that I have never done before, something that we have talked about on stream, and something that will be very interesting. I've already thought ahead 2 goals. All right? So I hope that you guys are excited. I'm not going to spoil it right now. I'm not. Maybe once we get to the marathon, and I'll start to give you hints about what it will be when we hit the 60 goals. Okay? So, good stuff coming up. Let's get it going. In fact, let's actually get started. Let's get some support, guys. Who's going to be the first super chatter? Who's going to be the first tipper? Who's going to be the first person to get the membership? And who's going to be the first person to gift the sub over on Kick? Let's find out right now.
And not only that, he put out a bag tweet because he wants to do a Five Nights at Freddy's marathon tomorrow on the Monday. And he's only asking for 4 goals total today. And of course he said today we're not doing drama. Don't talk about drama, don't bring up drama. And look at $2 from Iron Chef Sucks Guys. And then he kept doing it over and over, pity begging. Guys, I got stuff going on. Please tip me. Please hit the goal. I can't tell you what it is, but please trust me, bro, and support the stream. And then Kat Burnell brought up an interesting government note. The IRS has the authority to levy or seize your property, including garnishing your wages. Very interesting timing before tax time, which I believe his payment plan from back taxes is up this year. Then DSP goes on a delusional rant about his legacy, and he says his legacy is going to be what he tells people and not what other people tell about him.
I want to be a certain kind of creator that leaves a certain kind of legacy. At the end of the day, when all is said and done, for as many people out there who will completely misunderstand me and never know the person who I really was, all right? Those who actually did watch the content, judge it at face value, and were here along for the ride, I think could probably say at the end of the day, well, at least he didn't do any harm, right? He didn't sell anyone a bunch of bunk products, a bunch of crap. He didn't scam anyone to spend money so he could get ahead. And he also didn't hurt anyone's, reputations. He didn't personally attack people. He wasn't causing problems for people on the internet. He just stayed in his lane. And he stayed in his lane and he did content that he liked. And he was successful. So what exactly was wrong with that, right? And I think that's probably my best quality is that I don't really let myself get pulled or influenced no matter what.
And it appears Darkside Pimp / Dr. Lexus has now gifted over 1,000 subs on Kick, which equals to over $5,000. And look at the top 4 there. Dr. Lexus, Iron Chef Sakai, Rend, and Void. Dr. Lexus is the last one standing. Then DSP goes on to say, it took a while, but people are now starting to take me seriously as a podcaster now. Then goes on to say he wants the goal hit before the pre-stream ends because he thinks no one will support the JRPG game. Well, what do you expect, dude? It's RPG overload, dude. And that tells you a lot about your content, Phil. If you're saying, please support me before I start my actual content of gaming, on the gaming channel, because no one's going to support the gaming content. That should be a red flag right in your head there, Phil. Then there was rumors out that the whole issue behind the scenes was Kat is leaving, they're getting divorced, and DSP responded to this.
Am I getting divorced? No. No, I'm not. No.
He looked so sad there, trying to hold the mask back, like he wanted to cry right on the spot. Then DSP launches in this rant about how he's never changed. He didn't sell out. He's not a shill like other content creators. They have ads everywhere because their business model doesn't work. His does, but theirs doesn't. And then tells a story about how GE, General Electric, the company, had to remodel their business plan because they weren't making money. And it's as crazy as you would believe.
Right? Well, you can take a look at a company like GE. You know what GE stands for? General Electric. And at one point, General Electric was a humongous, profitable, very, very high-end electronics company. They made appliances and other things. Everyone knew GE, and everyone had GE Electric stuff in their homes. And then after a while, basically, they fell out of prominence, okay? And they weren't really doing that well in the realm of electric stuff anymore. So the head of the company decided, oh, well, to survive, we're going to change our entire company into a finance company. And he did. So they stopped making electronics entirely. They laid off their entire workforce of people who were doing that. They all lost their jobs. And he restructured the company. And then they started doing financial stuff. Okay? Now, to be honest, I don't know the end of the story. I don't know if they ended up being long-term successful in that either. Because have you heard of GE recently? So I don't even know if they're still in existence, right?
Then people kept asking him, are you getting divorced? Are you getting divorced? What's going on? I hear a divorce. And this person put it in the chat. Sorry to hear you're getting divorced. Hope Kat doesn't get her share of the figurines. And look at that. In the last 30 days, DSP Gaming, 363,000 views. Absolutely pathetic. Down 19%. And one of DSP's aspirations in the future is to become a voice actor. Now, if you ever seen DSP do voice acting, it's absolutely horrible. There's only two. It's the robot voice and the racist voice, aka Pokemon voice.
Stop it, Odessa. None of this nonsense about final requests. Victor, thank you, but it's too late for me now. I can feel it. Take it, Tyr. Take the earrings. Or, for my second request, please throw my body into the stream there. What? Why? Why do such a terrible thing? Please, Tyr. I'll do it.
And then DSP Eats It has a theory that Phil's tax person had to break the news no taxes on tips was only a talking point. Then we have Duty Streams. All of Italy condemned this.
Lately. Antonio! Cooking is my lifelong passion, but I've yet to know my own restaurant. I wish there was someone I could put my culinary skills to good use. Mamma mia!
And then also Duty, DSP has found the cure for depression. If you know DSP, you know that there's one thing that cheers him up no matter what.
And gentlemen, we have done it here on DSP Gaming. We hit the goal, we filled the coffer, the taxes are paid, the trolls are felted, and now it's time for the Liberation Army to strike back, strike hard, and give no mercy to the Imperials. You've all been watching Cobra Kai recently, probably. Thank you all. Goal number 1 hit. Now, we shall see if we can hit another goal on this stream. I told you guys, if we hit all the goals today, I'll do the marathon tomorrow. I'd be fully down to do the Five Nights at Freddy's marathon tomorrow if need be. That'd be perfect.
And DSP still having more tech issues, as things are going to malfunction yet again. By the way, watch his shirt, and look at those big boobs waiting to burst out.
So, I don't even know how to fix it. By the way, look what happened. I have not touched this, and this frame just turned on. This frame is not synced at all with that computer, and the frame just turned itself on while all this was going on. Do you see what I'm saying? What is happening? This frame has nothing to do with anything we're doing right now, and it turned itself on while all this was malfunctioning. Like, what is going on? I have no idea.
And then we have Dumpy Koala, who is a kick dolphin. That's the face when IRS tax season arrives, laughing my ass off. Then, no matter what, DSP still having tech issues. The camera, the background stuff, everything plugged into his computer. And it is funny and sad at the same time.
So now what I've done, I've unplugged this camera from the hub. I plugged it into the front port of my USB, the USB-C port on the front of my PC, which I don't use. I never use the USB-C port on the front of my PC. Let's see if it works now. Oh, now it's not even detected. I'm not even kidding you. It's not even detected anymore. It didn't even react when I plugged it in. Are you kidding me? And now, at least now it turned on blue. It only even did that before. This is ridiculous. Now it's showing up. Now will it work? Now it's working. This is insanity. This is absolute insanity, guys. So do I have to have both cameras plugged into the front ports of my PC to get them to work consistently? And then I'm not using a powered hub for either. I'm just using the power from my PC. It's working. I'll show you. Hold on. Let me shut down this program. It is working. Let me get it working in OBS now. I have no idea. So now both... Oh, now the other camera shut off. I can't make this up. Now the other camera has just shut off. So now this camera is working fully and the other camera won't work, turned off. So what am I supposed to do? I'm really at a loss at this point. It is plugged into the PC. That's what I just fucking said, genius. I just said nothing's plugged into a port. It's all plugged into the PC. So now I can't get this camera, this camera. It froze.
Then we had DSP going on yet another rant about daylight savings. We have Barrett Wells. We had daylight savings for the farmers. We don't need that anymore. Then Barrett adds on, does Phil think that farms don't exist anymore? All his turkey meat just comes straight from the meat factory where they make bacon, burgers, and pepperoni out of thin air. Then DSP having more tech issues was stating that he might have to buy a brand new PC.
All right, I got a $2 tip. Remember when I told you your motherboard needs like 1300 watts power supply, and you can plug everything directly into your PC with no issues? We do a fundraiser to buy you a better power supply. Are we sure that's what it is? Are we sure that's what it is? That it's the PSU. How do we even know that's what it is? All right. Well, guys, obviously I apologize for all this bullshit. Obviously, I'm not doing it. It's just the setup wants to fuck up. I don't know what else to say. It's like... So here's what we're going to do. I got to take a short break, okay? Just a couple minutes. And then I'll be back and we'll play for the end of the stream, 4 p.m. So let me go now. It'll only be like 5 minutes. And then I'll be back and we'll play for over an hour till the end. And I'm sorry we lost all this gameplay time. It seems to be working now. Right? Don't tell me what it turned off, because I have no idea what it turned off to get everything working. It doesn't look like it turned anything off. So I have no clue. You know, I really have no clue. All right. All right, guys. let me turn off the AI for a second here. And let me go, do what I need to do on this brief break. I'll be back, and then we'll play again. All right? I'll be right back.
But yet again, over and over, his camera kept freezing as well. Then someone offered to give him money if he answered questions truthfully. And this was DSP's response.
So Chill Mile just says in the chat, oh, I have real questions for you. If you answer them and give actual answers, I'll donate some cash. How would you know if I'm even answering any questions truthfully? There's no way you could know that. So you could just say that and then not do anything. So I don't know why you think this is like your interview time. It's not. I'm playing Suikoden. Anyway.
Then we see Cyrax is following in DSP's footsteps as the Goblin King is dressed up like the Gout King. And DSP has been a lifelong gamer, a PC gamer as he says. However, there's one thing he doesn't know about gaming on PC, and that is how to quit the game.
At 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, okay, it will be... I'm not sure how you quit. Can you quit? I don't see a way to quit the game. How do I quit the game? Alt F4 it is. Okay.
Then DSP sent out a beg tweet for the night stream where he says he wants to hit 3 goals tonight so he can do the marathon tomorrow. And by the way, 3 goals, $450. And look at that, before he even starts the stream, we have bans. August the Duck Real zoomed in to cut out moobs. Okay to disrespect wife for money. Amazing, amazing stuff, boys. Then DSP goes on to say he's still having more tech issues, and he might have to buy a new PC because he doesn't have a backup PC to stream on. My question here is, what happened to Cat's PC? You know, the great migration? He was going to move over to his wife's PC. What happened to that PC, Phil? And then Derek, 220th of Coomland, the greasy fuck is legit begging for $450 tonight. And then he refused to start the game, no gameplay, until he gets one of each kind of contribution. Then he says that some of the subs he got last week were Argentina. They were fake, dude, which means he didn't make any money on it. However, if you remember, like a few weeks ago, he counted fake memberships and said because of those fake memberships, he hit the goal. So when they hit the goal, they're worth something, but when they can't hit the goal, they're fake. Make that make sense, Phil. And he was begging hard for the money for the marathon tomorrow. And he says he only needs 90 kick subs tonight to hit the goal. Then DSP declares that he's given you the opportunity to give him 3 goals tonight. Then we have this from Charlie in the chat. Stop begging, Philip. And Nightbot says to Charlie, please do not use racist, sexist, or harmful terminology here. Thank you. That is right. Begging is harmful terminology. And DSP wants to do the marathon bad. Give him money, dudes. He needs it. Because he bought new flavor shots, whiskey, and tequila. Definitely. He is definitely a recovered alcoholic, dude. And then it started coming in. Endio with $100. And then Anonymous and all these sock accounts you never heard of before. Then apparently DSP saw August the Duck made a video on him. And he had to respond to that.
Shout out to Swish Treats, who did a $2 super chat and says, alert the authorities, he made me open my wallet. There you go. I personally went to Swish Treats' house, and I shook him down. I grabbed him by the neck, and I wringed his neck like this, like, until he finally opened his wallet and tossed me a 2. That's how I operate. Remember, the most greedy streamer on the internet, I go to your house, and I extort you. Of course.
Then we have Born to Shit, Forced to Wipe 32. Does PayPal accept EBT? Oh, but we had a problem here, dude. All these sock accounts are coming in, somebody he's never seen before, and all these gifted memberships. He can't trust it, dude. He has to make sure it's real. So now, on top of the gifted memberships you give to him, you also have to super chat him more money to tell him you are legit.
What's hilarious is both people are sitting in the chat insisting it's not fake, yet not actually contributing in ways that can't be fake. They just keep gifting more memberships, so no one believes you. You understand that? No one believes you at all. Right? No one. Literally no one believes you here. You're newcomers to the stream, no one knows who you are, you're not regulars, no one recognizes you. You come out of nowhere with decade-old accounts, you drop members, we say, hey, we're suspect of that, this has been happening all week. And then you just keep dropping members. Alright, let's get to the goals. We already got 1 and I'm happy with that. Can we get to 3 and have the marathon tomorrow? Let's find out. Yeah, Dummy Koala says after what happened with Keem, I wouldn't trust it. Well, how many did Keem get? Did he get like hundreds to thousands? Because they have tons of support over there. I wonder if he got like an insane amount. That's crazy. I know. Cypress, I know, but the thing is, this is it. What it is, this is called content farming. What they do is they come and they derail my stream on purpose. This is done on purpose. So now we've talked about it for like 20 minutes. So now, oh, look, now we have content we can clip from Phil's stream and farm and say all he did was talk about money and he shit-talked people who contributed to him tonight. That's not what we're doing. I'm outright telling you, this same activity happened 3 times in the last week. Smart Guys and 2 of my other streams, and all of those memberships were fake after the fact. So I have to do this to be skeptical, to protect my business, so we're not miscounting for goals, which is only fair. But they won't say that. They won't actually talk about that. Instead, they'll only show me saying, oh, I'm not counting this. I don't trust you. And they'll say, see, Phil's distrusting of his viewers. Fuck you. Fuck all of you. Okay. I'd like to play the game now. Is that okay? The camera did this again. Come on. So, if someone I recognize gives memberships, I'll count it. If someone who's not an account we've never seen before gives memberships, I'll count it. If we get tips or subs or other contributions like that, super chats, I'll count it. But I'm not going to count random member bombs when we already had 1 million trolls doing it this week, okay? Let's get to some goals. Let's do the 5 Nights at Freddy's Marathon tomorrow. I would love to do it tomorrow. If we can get there tonight, let's do it tomorrow. I got the liquor ready, the food's going to be ordered, everything's good to go. We'll get the games, get them installed. Let's do it. Let's rally in the next hour. Now let's play this goddamn game. Because I'm tired of waiting at this point. My controller turned off. I waited so dang long.
Okay.
With DSP saying he used to be a PC gamer, dude. He used to build PCs, he used to run PCs. He knew all about PCs back in the day. But apparently, one thing he did not know about PCs is how to shut down completely.
I received another $5 tip from Mulciber. Most of the time, drivers get unloaded from Windows kernel, they crash out, or some missing DLL can't be loaded. Never underestimate the power of a full PC shutdown. Don't just reboot, because Win 1011 has a fast boot capability that doesn't fully restart. Complete shutdown when in doubt. I don't know how to complete shutdown. I'm being honest with you. I upgrade, I have all new PCs. I just tell it shut down, and then I boot it back up. I don't know how to fully shut down. I've restarted too. Like, I don't know. And the computer doesn't fucking tell you. So I don't understand it. In regards to these cameras, they're having ongoing issues anyway, because I've told them to like, when you plug them in, sometimes they say, oh, driver update required. So I do the update, and then when I restart, it says driver update required. So then I do it, and it says driver update required. So basically, they're not working right. These cameras are having an issue with the drivers, with Windows, and I haven't had Windows Update working for a month because Windows Update kept bricking this camera. This camera right now kept getting shut down and not workable on Windows because of a Windows Update. So there's some compatibility issue between Windows, updates, and the drivers, and I don't know how to fix it. When it works, it's amazing. But it's really stupid that it stops working. So thank you for the $5. Mulciber. I do shut down my PC. I do. But what Mulciber is saying is that just shutting it down actually doesn't shut it down. There's some secret thing you need to know to really shut it down. That's what he's saying, but I don't know what it is. I would assume the vast majority of people don't know what it is, right? Okay.
Then DSP got these gifted memberships from Cat's divorce lawyer. And then at the end of the night, all the anonymous, all the new accounts that gave him money. And he says, how on earth did we hit 3 goals tonight? I have no idea. Definitely not all the begging you did, Phil. Definitely not all the begging. Then DSP in the Daily Wrap talks about how tomorrow, $100 a shot. And Otter points out, the grift continues to accelerate. Remember, this marathon is meant to be your reward for giving him $7,500, but give him money on it. And that brings us to Monday, Marathon Day, 5 nights at Freddy's, multiple games. And it seems like Super Puppy is not only attacking YouTube channels, attacking Twitter accounts, he's also going after people who quote-unquote steal from DSP. And one of the people that stole from DSP is Strangely Lex. And Super Puppy shows off on Twitter all of her information and says, Alexa, don't ever ignore me. I know you see my tweets, don't ignore me. Your parents don't need to know you're interacting with criminals online. Of course, the criminals that he's referring to are the DSP detractors. Then we're gonna look at some band names on Kick from yesterday, including Whiskey Wiener, Injured's Perch is My Face Caw, Burnell Hates Women for Real, Tyrone the Lover, and DSP Obeys Kick Chat Real. Then DSP puts this out before the stream. The 5 Nights at Freddy's Torture-thon is live. Join me all day long as I play through the series with hopefully some booze to get me through it. It's a good time no matter what, so let's go. Then it's a big marathon, he's ready for this, he wants this to happen, and he's 15 minutes late. Good job, Phil, good job. Then it's time for the big marathon. This is your reward for giving him 30 goals hit at $150 each. And what's the first thing he does? He begs for money so you can support the reward stream he gave you. And not only begging for support, he's begging for $100 tips, super chats, or even gifted subs, so he can drink booze. And not only that, once he gets that money, he will give you a new goal so you can hit that too, dudes. And he's already planned out the next DSP tries it. Are you ready for this? He bought from the grocery store Girl Scout cookies. Bottom of the barrel, lazy, lazy, lazy. And look at this recovered alcoholic, willing to drink all this whiskey, tequila, and flavored shots. And not only flavored shots, the girliest flavor shots ever. And would you look at that? He's on the Kick front page. Yet again, they are really pushing him. They're trying to get some of that whale money, dude. So DSP is going to talk about behind the scenes contributions and overnight. And it's very questionable what he means by this.
Mozzie says, I tipped you last night, but you never mentioned it. Mozzie, you tipped at like 4:40 p.m. The stream ended at 4. So how would I have mentioned it? You tipped at 4:40 p.m. and you basically said, congrats and, hitting your goals and, stuff like that, right? I'm trying to remember exactly what the tip said. Not 4:40 p.m., excuse me. You tipped at like 9:40. Something like when I went offline is when you tipped, right? So how could I have shouted that out? I wasn't online. Right? Let's count it today. Sure. Would you like to count it today? Would you like to count the $5 tip? Sure. Why not? Let's do it. All right? Let's do it. Here we go. You ready? $5. $5 from Mozzie last night. Thank you, Mozzie, for the $5 tip, but I don't have the message anymore, so I can't read it.
Now apparently, DSP has a new nickname for himself, and that is King of the live streams. Somebody even made him a theme song for that as well, and it's as bad as you think. Then someone asked him about Deathface from Project 7, and DSP said he was a one-off character, and he's not relevant to his content today. And as Poems Past points out, he's also an animation and emote on your channel. Then DSP was talking about shots again and says, for $100, you get to choose his shot of your choice. And DSP still not learned his lesson about RPG overload. Now wants to play Skyrim again, but this time with mods. By the way, you don't need a PC for that. You can do it through Xbox as well. And then another name that's never appeared before all of a sudden starts donating. We had Ken with $69 super chat, did $100 and the first shot. And at the same time, DSP was complaining that nothing came in from Kick and jokingly says to step it up. Then DSP watched the trailer for Death Stranding 2. This was his big brain reaction, and this is all the intelligent choices he adds when he reacts to stuff.
It was a mistake.
No.
Are you breaking up with me?
It was not a mistake.
You bitch!
It was not a mistake.
Do we have to see this? Kojima's so weird, it's hilarious. Well, the baby is still alive from the first game. Look at this. What a cute outfit it's wearing. When do we get to see him change its diaper? Come on. 11 months after the birth of the UCA, servers lined the beach. Deliveries have been automated. A plate gate connects the continent.
Then DSP goes on to say that Death Stranding is just Metal Gear. And the greed was kicking in as he says he wants $200 by the end of the pre-stream. DSP then listed all the games he wants to play after Yakuza, and guess what guys, they were mostly RPGs. He still doesn't get it. Your audience doesn't want to watch it. You are boring, Phil. And you're gonna complain, oh, my audience doesn't like it. My audience is not built up for these. Why do you keep doing it then, Phil? Why do you keep doing it? DSP said he bought the first 5 games of Five Nights at Freddy's. No clue if he'll beat them. He'll try to figure them out and play till he's bored. Then he got $200 and says he wants another $100 before the podcast ends. And he keeps doing this over and over. He's trying to milk all the money from his dents. Then he was talking about his wife cooking for his birthday and said he has to schedule it so his wife can be home to cook on his birthday. Then yet again, still yelling at Kick because they're not supporting. And Kick takes him off the front page. And DSP is disappointed. He says, oh, it wasn't even an hour. He expected to be on that front page his entire marathon. But then we got 9 subs from Dr. Lexus / Darkside Pimp. And then DSP does what he does when tips are low, support's low. Guys, look at all the supports coming in from YouTube. Kick, what's going on? You gonna let them take that? Oh look, YouTube is talking crap about Kick. Oh, Kick, are you gonna take that? Man, it'd be nice if you supported me. You can't let YouTube win, Kick. Come on, where's the support? Then DSP, yet again, going on another rant about everyone is jealous of him.
This is great. Darkside Beg says, imagine being 42 and begging for money online. Imagine being a no-life, completely anonymous loser sitting online, being jealous of someone who's successful online because you're not. Imagine that. Who's in the lesser position there exactly? The person who's successful and making money and content, or the person who's sitting at home with sour grapes because you're a loser? How is that a gaslighting response? It's a fact. I'm literally in my 40s. I'm in my midlife, okay? Most people in their midlife are having a crisis. They look around them and they say, oh my God, my life is awful. I've pigeonholed myself into this situation where I'm stuck with a family that I'm not enjoying and kids that I have massive stress about. And I lost my youth and I've lost all of this. Me, I'm literally sitting here having fun, making great content for an audience that likes me. They're supporting me and giving me, this kind of financial support where I can constantly upgrade things, do good things, and we're all having a great time together. There's no, how is this a cope or how is that, what are you talking about? I'm the winner here. I'm the one enjoying life and having a great time. And then there's everyone else on the internet who's so upset that they have to sit there and cope and seethe and hate and pretend like this is a bad thing, when in reality, they all very much know it's a very good thing. This is a good thing they wish they had for themselves and they don't. And they're jealous and they're sad and they can't take it. Wah, wah, wah. Well, maybe if you had some talent, maybe if you grinded for 17 years like I did and worked hard, you could have actually done something with your life besides make fun of others and try to deride others and try to bring down others to get ahead. But you can't because you're a loser. Sorry. That's the ultimate cope, is that you have to cope with your own reality that you're a loser. Big deal. Someone says, if I grinded for 17 years and achieved nothing, I would probably kill myself. Well, that's you. And if you did grind for 17 years and achieve nothing, I would understand. But I've grinded for 17 years and I've achieved a ton. I'm happy. I have a family that's awesome. I have a job that's amazing. I have people who love to hang out with me every day and support me for it. I am living the dream. You are a fart in the wind. You see the difference? And that's why you're so upset. That's exactly why you're upset. You can't take it.
And this is how the pre-stream went. Says he will start gameplay after he gets $100. Gets it. Says he will start gameplay after he gets $200. Gets it. Says he will start gameplay after he gets $300. Are you paying attention, Dents? Then this was the most telling thing all night. DSP wants to get drunk today, so he doesn't have to think about the bullshit going on in his life. Remember, recovered alcoholic. Then he mentioned a little bit of what was stressing him out. He says people doing squats for money, which would be Lex, people getting tattoos of him, which would be RTU, and people wanting to grill him, which would be PPP. He just wants to relax. Then we have Atlas the bookkeeper. He's a former alcoholic, by the way.
Salute everyone. Shot number 2 to the 5 Nights at Freddy's Marathon today. Thank you guys. Ooh, I like that a lot. Wow, I really like that. Yes, please. More of this. This is delicious. That's very tasty. I love that. I haven't had that in a long time. That tastes really good. Yummy. Okay. I did drink it like water.
Then DSP started up Five Nights at Freddy's 1 on PC and then complained he couldn't use a controller with it. That's right, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 on PC. Then Emo Ghost says it's on console. He could have bought the PlayStation version if it was a deal breaker. It's even on sale. Which I responded with, he bought it on Steam because he's a PC gamer, dude. Then after getting $200, he said this to his chat. I thought we would get more money than that, but hopefully we will. Then was making excuses just to drink more and get more money. He said he would enjoy the game more if people gave him more money for a shot. Then he was so surprised. Then he was getting frustrated with the first one, and he said, we'll try one more time, then fuck this game. Remember in the past when he used to shit all over Five Nights at Freddy's? Remember, it was a meme game by Scream streamers. It's not scary, I don't know why people play this, but here he is, DSP. If there's money involved, his morals, his values go out the window, dude. Then we have Poems Past. This is what PPP was referring to when he said, you involve yourself in and create a vortex of drama around you, Phil.
We have so much shit going on, stressful stuff, that to even like sit down and have a normal thought about, oh, let's just have a meal together. It's kind of like, it's fucked up, but that's life. That's what we're dealing with right now. So we didn't have a chance. Like last night, we legit were like, oh, let's plan it out. let's figure out what we're going to eat tomorrow. And then it's like, well, it's time to go to sleep. Oh, we didn't plan out anything. Fuck. Some of the things people say in chat are so... Yes, divorce. That's what it is. Totally divorce. Even though I told you yesterday that's not what it is. Even though obviously we're spending time together. We're having a fun life together. Yes, it's divorce. Of course, that's what it is. And so is it back taxes? Yes, back taxes are killing me. I can't plan my meal today because of back taxes. Correct. What are you saying? I swear what it is. People just don't know. Because obviously you're never going to figure it out because I'm never going to tell you. So they're like, here's a giant wall of possibilities, right? It's like back taxes, divorce, Jasper is sick, space aliens, demons are in the house. You know what I mean? And people are like throwing darts. Well, if I say this on stream, let's see if Phil will respond. What if I say this on stream? Will Phil respond? I'm not going to tell you. See, here's the funny part, too, because Fed Roger just said something insightful. He said, from what you've said, it's obvious what you're going through. It's sad because most people go through it. In reality, that's very insightful, and you are close. But in truth, we're actually going through multiple things at once. And that's the worst problem of it, is that it's like, oh, one thing's going on. Okay, that's alleviated a little bit. Oh, now the other thing. Oh, yeah, now that... It's just fucked up stuff. And that's like it. When you get older, all of you are going to understand. You will. You just got to get to middle age, and then you're going to start seeing this stuff happen, and you'll be like, oh, fuck. You know, but it is what it is, again. And it has, nothing to do with streams, nothing to do with anything you guys need to know. It just sucks that it affects me. You know, it does. Like, I'm feeling shitty. My emotions are crushed. My fucking stamina is gone. My fucking stress is at a high level. And it's just like, I just want to come to stream and chill with you guys, you know? And it sucks that I come to stream and then there's people who are trying to cause drama and derail it and shit. And it's like, if everything was good, I wouldn't care. Like, to be honest, you know? If everything was like nice and chill, I wouldn't care that people fuck with me. But it's like I already got all this other stuff going on that's fucking with my head. And then people try to compound it and try to pound, let's get Phil today. Let's fuck with him. Let's do this. Let's talk about fucking... other streamers doing squats for money and Lego building, and fucking this guy's getting a tattoo of Phil's face on his ass, and this guy wants to fucking grill Phil today, and this guy wants to do this. It's like, I just want to fucking come to stream and relax. I just want to separate myself from the already overwhelming levels of stress that I'm having offline. And then I go online and people are saying, here's some stress. Gee, thanks. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I was looking for. Okay? So, I hope you understand where I'm coming from.
And of course, for years, he crapped all over Five Nights. And he's still bored. He's yawning. He's not taking this serious. He just wants the money and the booze. And then we had Mike Dutch with $80. Who is Mike Dutch? That is a good question. Because this is the very first time he's ever interacted on the stream. Almost like a sock account. And would you look at that? Another $100 from Mike Dutch. And at this point, he's up to $200 given to DSP today so far. And then DSP put up a poll on Kick to determine what shot he will do next. And guess what, guys? Only 5 people voted on it. And he said, what happened? What's going on? Did it malfunction, dude? Then we have this from a next gen guy. The booze has gone straight to his head.
Come on. What the fuck's that? What was that shit? We did it. Wow, this is tense. This is legitimately tense. Oh my god. Woo. Woo. Okay. All right. I need a break. Wow. So I survived 3 days so far. Yo, this is hard. This is hard. You gotta jump around. Ugh. You gotta jump around like crazy. Oh, man. Well, let's see how the food's doing, because the food's almost here, I think. So I might want to pause.
If you're wondering how Feasting with the King went, well, there was a lot of pig noises, that is for sure.
All right. California roll. Boy. Good. That's really good.
And now DSP is openly referring to his chair cover as his chair condom.
Should I take the condom off? Nah, I'll just leave it on. Do I really need to take this off and on? It's not that big of a deal to have this on, is it? For the DSP or for the Feasting with the King? Probably not. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. I'm just going to grab the food.
Then we have Piece of Peace. WTF, I thought you were joking. This retard really did say that.
So it's Himador. Thank you. Smooth. That is so smooth. I love how smooth that tequila is. Damn. That's got to be one of the smoothest ones I've ever had, actually. I got it because it was recommended to me. I went to the liquor store, and I told them I wasn't looking for, like, I don't want a low-end tequila, but I don't want to spend a lot of money. What's, like, a good, like high, low-end, mid-range style tequila that's good? And they recommended that. And it's actually really good. That's so smooth. Good stuff. Okay.
Remember, recovered alcoholic. Then DSP shows off his food and decides to play around with it. I really hate Feasting with the King.
Yummy. Look how much, oh my God. Look how much chicken is in this thing. What the hell? Yo, there's a ton of chicken in this bento box. I didn't know there was this much. This is way too much. I'll never eat all this. Damn. Well, there's no way I'm going to eat all this. Let me have a few more pieces, then we'll probably be done. It's so much food. Holy crap, look at that. Would you like this? Here, it's coming to you. Ready? Open your mouth. 3D bento. Oh my God. You will not get 3D bento anywhere else on YouTube or the internet. All right? Only here. Only here. On DSP Gaming will you ever get a 3D bento box. So you better be enjoying this one-time only extravaganza. Yummy. Okay.
And you know, DSP's getting desperate for support when the old OIC socks come out, including Little Shake and Bake, who famously made that DERICH birthday video. Then DSP decided to go on a rant about Rare Tricks, how he promised him a cake for his marathon, but then disappeared and started hanging out with detractors, especially Duty. So no cake today. Called Rare Tricks a weirdo and asked, "What happened? I didn't change, you tell me." Then DSP was paywalling the next game, because DSP says he will go on to the next game when he hits $500. Then basically, this is the marathon in a nutshell.
There were footsteps? I didn't hear any footsteps. I heard the laughing, so I thought Freddy was coming, but then it was just there. Okay. I received a $2 tip. The sub was real. I just subbed on Kick. Oh, well, it didn't show up. Whoever just subbed on Kick, they're claiming they're subbed. It didn't show up at all. Even in the revenue area, it didn't show up.
Then in the past, DSP's always laughed at people for getting scared at Five Nights at Freddy games. But DSP was jump scared, and he just yelled, "What the?" called it stupid, then rage quit the game. But of course, he's not a children's entertainer, dude. And then look at that, Mike Dutch. Apparently, he's into crypto. Now, the funny thing is, who backs Kick? Isn't it like a cryptocurrency person in a casino? And hasn't DSP been on the front of Kick as of late? Even the mods of Kick saying, here you go, buddy. Then all of a sudden, crypto bros are paying Phil. Makes you wonder about that. But of course, we all know it's OIC LARPing around. Then DSP saying he would enjoy the games more if you give him more money for a shot.
Well, I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna be honest. I'm already kind of upset and bored. It would have been great if I had more liquor in me, but we only got 2 shots in me right now.
Then DSP was complaining that there's no pause button on Five Nights at Freddy's 1, and he went off on a rant about shitting and seeing his wife, and it just went all over the place, DSP style.
Now, how do you pause the game? What happened? I hit escape. What happened? The fuck? Escape just crashes the game? If you hit escape, it crashes the game. Now I have to start over? You've got to be kidding me. This is a popular game. If you hit escape, the game closes entirely, and you have to start it over. There's no pause at all. What if you have to take a shit? What if someone's at the door? What if your house is on fire? What if your cat is choking and you need to go help it? What if your wife is yelling at you? There's no pause in the game? What if in real life, an actual possessed animatronic comes to your room and you need to close the door to stop the animatronic from entering? Then you get killed in the game? So what do? Do you choose to die in real life so you can keep playing the game? What the hell? And it's like Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2 on the fucking NES that I learned about from the Angry Video Game Nerd video that has no pause. You have to play the entire game in one sitting. What is this? So how am I supposed to talk with you guys and enjoy myself and have a good time if I can't ever pause the game? What's going to happen when my wife gets home and we need to go downstairs and we need to order food? All right, well, I guess we'll try one more time and then fuck this game and we'll go to the next one.
Then the Greed Demon is coming out of DSP. As he says, $500 is not enough for today. This is a marathon. You should be giving me more.
Well, let's continue. We're going to try 4 and 5. Now, guys, by the way, Adam, thanks for $1. $1 from Adam. Thank you. And there was $1 tip there, right? So $2. Guys, let's get to 600. All right? We've already had great momentum, but now it's hilarious. This is what's funny about this, okay? So we did the podcast. We played Five Nights at Freddy's 1. And then we had food. And that entire time, everyone was having a great time. And then all of a sudden, I actually started getting into the games more heavily, the first ones, and it just crashes. Right? I'm not having a good time, you're not having a good time, and no one's supporting the stream. Interesting, huh? Well, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep trying. We have 2 more to try, and then, like I said, we'll see how much time we have left, and if I want to continue or not. Maybe go back and do the first one again, or just hang out or whatever. All right? But I just find it hilarious. All the support was front-loaded with the podcast, the first game, which legit was fun, and the food. And then after that, right? But we'll continue. I'm going to keep going. This is not the end of the marathon. We're going to keep trying. Guys, please support the stream. All right, if you can. Again, at 600, I'll take another shot. We'll hit another goal. Every 100, we're taking a shot here. So we get a couple people who are supportive. I'll get buzzed again because the buzz is gone at this point. And we'll keep going. But, you know, I'm going to be honest as I play these games. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The first one was actually good. So I'm actually happy we did this today.
Then DSP, being an idiot, thinks rice is a dipping sauce. Then he plays Five Nights at Freddy's 4 for 10 minutes. I like this one, but he'll never beat it in a marathon setting, and then quits. And look at that, out of nowhere, people have never ever commented before, never showed up before, 2 $100 super chats from them. And look at that, Mike Dutch is back with $200 super chat as well. We don't watch for the games, we watch for you. Okay there, OIC. Then not only that, Mike Dutch with $50, tequila all the way. Then we have another $20 from Mike Dutch, shot time. Then another $60 from Mike Dutch. So let's do it. And 70% of the income he got today was from Mike Dutch. And when it was all done, DSP said, Five Nights at Freddy's experience today was a revelation, like Minecraft. You know what the really funny thing would be? Is if he plays another game that he shits on all the time. Cause there's 3 games he always used to shit on. Minecraft, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Fortnite. I guarantee you, if support gets low enough, he will be playing Fortnite in 2025. And then we have Poems Past. Slight drunken slip here. Notice the $200 amount he says here? That's what he knows is from a verified source he can trust. He ended this marathon with over $1,000. That's how much he believes is from one person on different accounts that can't be trusted.
I'm just taking this shot, and I'm saying, Kim did another $51 super chat, says don't die on us. Are you kidding me? Now, I'm going to be honest. All right? This is suspect that there's so many super chats. I hope they're real. To my knowledge, you can't fake a super chat. You can fake the memberships, but you can't fake a super chat. I'm going to check on this stream in 2 days. And if this stream says I made like $200, I'm going to be pretty pissed.
Then when he did his Feasting with the King, DSP was at $471. And he complained that for 30 minutes when he had his lunch on camera, nobody supported. Then he played Sister Location and said, this is so boring. But then after playing it, he said, I like this one, I would consider playing it again. And would you look at that, Mike Dutch yet again gifting 10 DSP Gaming memberships. Then as he's logging off, people wanted to redirect to Kino Casino and joke that they were talking shit about him. But Phil takes it seriously, gets confused, and assumes they were talking shit about him. And would you look at that, $100 from Kim. All tequila, here's another 100, now it's 2. Then $51 from Kim. There you go, don't die on us. And look at that, Kim is also a crypto person. Very interesting. And then look at that, $1,200 out of the $1,350 goal.
I promise you, I said this is it. So you can't say, oh, you didn't take the shots. I did. This is the final shot for the night. I already said that.
Devour, devour.
Okay.
Then after ending the stream, he left his kick chat going and his camera, but then came back and sat down. It was really weird.
Oh, I didn't stop the stream on Kick. I only stopped it on YouTube. Oh, good. Well, yeah. No, there's no live daily rap. I'm getting out of here right now. At least the mic was muted. So you didn't hear all the zombies I had to kill in my house, thankfully. All right. Well, I'm out of here, guys. Did I send you guys to Kino Casino? I thought I did. So why are you still here? If I sent you to Kino Casino, why are you still here? Because I didn't turn off the stream? How does that even work? People who refused the invite stayed, and you were hoping for something to happen. You guys are insane. No, I just got back in here, and I'm gonna shut down now. That's what I'm gonna do. Whoa, this camera is way to the wrong side. It's like way to the left. It followed me, I think, because I didn't turn off the tracker. Wow. All right. Well, guys, have a good night. I'm out of here. I'm so tired, and I got work to do. I'll see y'all tomorrow, all right?
This unfortunately was not the first time he forgot the camera was on. At least this time, he wasn't jacking it. And would you look at that? As he's about to start up his stream the next day, an official update, Smart Guys is delayed until Thursday night, and it may not be streaming at all on Tuesday, March 11th. I'm not hungover from the marathon. This is because of personal stuff going on. I will update you all in the morning, so thanks for your understanding. And that brings us to Tuesday. And apparently, Scopely is doing so well that they bought another company, which includes the Pokemon Go game. Of course, this would not be possible without people like Phil Burnell. Then we're going to look at band names on Kick from the day before. We have Cat Roped and Broke Ceiling, 40 PC for Podcast is Begging, PPP can't stop calling Cat fat, Cat wants P, but Phil wants PPP, and Arch Turtleneck Snot Gulp. Then we see the tweet where DSP talks about how Smart Guys is delayed until Thursday night and how he may not be streaming at all on Tuesday. And this is because of personal stuff going on. Then we see Buster with this clip from Kino Casino.
Gave all our money to Dark Side Phil! Damn you, chat! Fuck Phil! Phil's a fucking bum! And his wife's fat! She's fat!
No, just kidding, Phil. Guys,
Oh, we love you, Phil. I'm sorry.
Then we have this in the YouTube chat. He said on Twitter he was not hungover. He's not hungover. He took 12 shots like a champ. Please stop. Phil, are you still drunk? I would be hammered after 6 shots. And then apparently whatever the personal stuff was, it wasn't enough to keep him away from streaming. As he says, schedule update. There will be no podcast. Instead, I'm jumping right into Black Ops 6 in Crazy Grind stream, where the goal is to unlock the nunchucks and as much TMNT content as possible. Then even changes the schedule to say no podcast, just Black Ops 6. Then it was very weird because he wasn't talking, he wasn't begging, he wasn't talking about support, he was being very quiet. And we have Piece of Peace. Surely, if I just continue talking, it'll get funny at some point, right?
What? I went headfirst into his balls. His balls knocked me out. He had ball bearings of steel. I never seen a testicle sack knock someone out before. Whoa?
Then as the stream went on, there was still no begging. He was not interacting with his audience. He was not talking about goals or support. And it was very weird. And a lot of people had theories on this. We have King Jod. So I have a serious question. Where in the hell has this version of DSP been all this time? Incredibly minimal, if any, begging from him today so far. But it's almost like he doesn't want to be there either. Just going through the motion. What even is this? Then there's a theory that he'd been advised not to bring up support either from YouTube or his audience or someone else. Even at several points, stopping himself from begging.
So guys, we still got about 2 hours left. I started early and we're going, full length of the stream. So we're getting, a good 4 hours of Call of Duty in today. A Simpsons collab, oh lord.
But even with DSP being weird like this, the excuses in Call of Duty did not stop. He keeps being feet away from people and insisting he's passing through the other people's body. He's now making up a reasoning in real time that the turtle skins are at fault. Then we have Poems Past, maximum chill level.
Okay. Uh, All right. I guess we'll start to get set up here.
And then Duty notices DSP not begging, not talking, and finds it very weird. After all these years, we've called for Phil to be normal. Stop begging, yelling at the dents, and just chill. He manages to do that today, and I gotta say, I'm completely weirded out. I think DSP broke me. Gamerface Gaming. Is this a new DSP clone? Who is this clown and where's the begging? Yes, that marathon was so embarrassing. He had a moment of reflection? Yeah, sure. Then Duty goes on to say once he got an email from YouTube regarding an issue. He responded and it was cleared up. Maybe YouTube sent him an email about his behavior. Then also another theory by Duty. I'm positive he just found out PayPal now required by law to generate 1099 tax form for anyone receiving more than $600. He can't simply self-report. Then Beaver Sucks notice DSP avoiding his 815 chill stream bag. And everyone's still noticing there's no bags. He's not toxic towards anyone. He's not yelling at anyone. And it's almost like we're living in an alternate timeline. But then DSP goes on to say something stupid just like DSP. DSP goes on to say he's too old to drink sugary things such as soda. It makes my teeth hurt. Now keep in mind this same guy back in the start of the year that had ginger ale and Coca-Cola on stream. And I'm sure there's sugar in all that alcohol you take, Phil.
Mountain Dew? No. I can't drink sugary stuff anymore. I'm too old and my teeth are all screwed up. If I drink sugary stuff, my teeth legit hurt after drinking it. So I'm gonna have like soda. I need to be able to like brush my teeth soon after. No, I don't put any sugar or anything in my coffee. It's always black.
DSP yet again complaining about the lag in Call of Duty and saying he's doing bad in Call of Duty because of the lag, dude.
How many milliseconds do I think are in a second? Isn't it 1,000? So implying if you said there was 300 milliseconds of delay, it would mean like a third of a second. Something like that, like 30% of a second. I think that's how it works.
And as you can tell from the screen here, DSP decided to pay for the microtransactions for the Ninja Turtles. After saying that anyone who buys microtransactions in games such as Call of Duty, like $20 a skin, is an idiot. But then DSP goes on and buys that $20 skin. And then of course, he can't beg, so what does he do? Time for clown mode.
Cool. I said do-do-do-do-do-do-boo-boo-doo-boo. I was a lot like Howard Stern. Oh, are you saying I was a shock jock? A shock jock YouTuber? Like someone else? My nose looks twice as big. Excellent. You want to see even bigger? Ready? My nose got so big the camera turned off. It's like a total eclipse. It blotted out the sun. All right.
Then some people thought, oh, maybe it's the IRS or something to do with his house. And they started talking about him moving back east. And DSP doesn't want to go there because if he moves back east, he'll see that as a failure.
Will I ever move back east? No, absolutely not. First of all, I like where I live. Even though I complain a lot about the some of the stuff politically out here, I do like where I live, the climate and everything. If I ever were to move, it would not be back to like Connecticut. It would definitely be somewhere different.
Then DSP has this very, very, very weird joke while playing Kiosk.
Here you go. That was fast. Thank you so much. Yeah, Darmea says the ghost is a comedian. Yes, the ghost is practicing his comedic death animations with screeching and comedy smashing to the wall like a cartoon. He's like, you know what it is? That was the ghost of Wile E. Coyote. He died to another malfunctioning Acme device. All right.
Then DSP serves a customer in the game that truly hits hard and close to home for him.
Now this guy, Puffy Jacket. My wife just left me. I need something to kill the pain. Give me 4 beers, cold ones.
Then we have JG Win with a Theo theory. The August the Duck video caused YouTube to look at DSP. Then he probably got a scary notice that he could threaten his ability to earn money on the platform. The fear of losing income in mind and likely being observed, DSP jammed the brakes on begging today. Then we have this weird super chat, ex-detractor here who finally came to my senses. I made the rumor on Kiwi Farms that you made flappy poop sounds with your butt and pissed on cars in your neighborhood. Sorry. JG Win, so, no begging on the day stream or so far at night. Weird. Then it came, the stream was over, he didn't make his goal, but he also didn't beg. We have Narcside Phil. Today, DSP can say he earned his money. No bags, no obsession over goals, straight in the gameplay. Problem though, Philip, if you actually keep this up, you're gonna have sub 100 viewers. Cause you're boring as fuck and suck in every game. Detractors bore quitting is your end. Then Duty, DSP no bag streak ends at 2. Old habits are hard to break.
Of this Lego succulent plant. So 3 more to go to wrap it up. Each 3 has taken about 2 hours, so I figure we'll finish it up tomorrow night. Nice, chill, interactive stream, just like the first 2 were. And being a man of my word, if this stream does well, meaning people show up and engage and support, and it's all going in line with the first 2 streams, then I would be willing to get a bigger, better Lego set. Perhaps something that's licensed, something that's themed, you know what I mean, has intellectual property attached to it rather than just a generic plant, or maybe something else. We'll talk about it, all right? But let's see how the stream goes tomorrow night. I'm hoping that there isn't basically lack of interest because now it's the 3rd night I'm doing it. The first 2 nights went really well, so I hope they continue to do well, okay? Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow and see if people still show up for it and support and engage and support it or not. We'll see. So that's that tomorrow night.
And that brings us to Wednesday, the start of the end for DSP and Kino Casino. We start off in chat, DSP. These cams are ridiculous, turned off again. Replugged, so hopefully it'll work again. So hopefully it'll work now. Then Silly Goose Gang, maybe time to get new cameras? That's a bummer. DSP, I'm pretty sure it's not the cams. No way the cam just overheated when it's only on for 5 minutes. Maybe Phil, just maybe, it's because you have everything plugged in the same place. And then, DSP revealed why he was not begging yesterday. And remember guys, he does not manipulate people, as this guys was all a social experiment. He wanted to prove to you how begging works on his streams.
One thing is very personal, something that has happened this week that has hit myself and my family really hard, and basically yesterday was a horrible day. All right? So, that being said, I didn't even want to do a podcast. I just wasn't in the mood. Like, I felt like I needed to come to this stream and distract myself as much as I possibly could with gameplay so that I could keep my mind off of stuff. Okay? So the moment I came on the stream, I just said hello, and then we went right into Call of Duty, and I'm going to be honest, it worked. Like, it actually legitimately worked, where while I was playing Call of Duty, I didn't really give a thought to anything else that was going on in my personal life outside of Call of Duty being played at that moment. So absolutely, positively, 100%, it helped a lot. It did. I needed it. I just needed to get my mind off of stuff. Because a lot of the times people say stuff like, then why don't you just take time off? Why don't you just walk away from streaming and take a few days or a week? And, well, number one, I couldn't take a whole week. Maybe I could take a couple days. Like I said, thankfully, thanks to you guys, I'm not in like horrible financial difficulties anymore. If I need to have an emergency and I really need to take time away for something like that, I can. Thankfully, I used to never be able to. I literally used to have to be here every day, all day. And now I don't have to anymore, and I'm very grateful for that. Okay? But in reality, if I had not been on stream distracting myself yesterday, I really feel like it would have actually been worse. Okay? Just being honest, you know? So it worked, you know? And thank you to anyone who was here yesterday and enjoyed the gameplay in the stream and everyone was having a good time. I really do appreciate you because it was a bad time for me. All right? And so that's why a lot of people could tell. They were like, his demeanor's different. This is weird. You're absolutely right. 100%. You guessed correct. Definitely stuff was going on. Okay? So there you go. All right, there's two halves to this thing that went down yesterday. And the other half is that it was an experiment to some extent. And it wasn't planned. It just kind of happened. And as it happened, I was like, well, this is fascinating because now what we can do is actually take this data to try to see how it affected things and, you know, maybe use it as a positive for improvement and stuff like that. So let's talk. Let's talk about yesterday. So first off, there was no podcast. All right? With no podcast and all gameplay, immediately you could tell some people were turned off, didn't tune in or saw there was no podcast and left. All right? If anything, this is direct, actual evidence that people have adopted me as a podcaster, as someone who does content other than just gaming, that there are distinct groups of people who come here just to hang out with me rather than it being me play a game. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a good thing. Why? Because I'm getting older. Okay? In just a few weeks, I'm going to be 43 years old, and I'm at the point in my life, they call it you're over the hill. I think we all got to accept this. I am more than halfway through my life at this point. Okay? I'm not going to get any faster, any stronger, any more viable. All right? This is not going to happen. At this point in my life, I can maintain, and then there's going to be a decline. This is just the reality of human existence. It's called the human condition. All right? Many people can't face it. I am. I'm trying to do this gracefully, age gracefully, and understand my limitations and that the fact that I'm not 20 years old anymore. Okay? I can't just sit here playing games all day, every day, and expect that, number one, I'm going to play them at any kind of level that's going to be entertaining. That, number two, my stamina is going to keep up with all of that. And that, number three, I'm going to be able to continue to make a living working like that. Okay? The reality is thus, I need to change and make new kinds of content. I need to change and do different things and not just be Phil the Gamer. Okay? I need to have different aspects, whether it's as a podcaster, as a commentator, as, you know, making different kinds of content. This is what has to persist as I get older. The gaming will reduce. Will it ever phase out? Really isn't anything that's public facing nor stuff that you should know about. Everyone has a private life. The problem is I'm a guy who's literally on stream 6 days a week, all day long, and it comes through. You know, I'm not one of these fake people who's putting on this crazy mask or front. You know, when you see me on stream, usually you see me in my mood or whatever's going on. And, you know, this week has been really, really hard with a lot of stuff going on that I'm just not going to talk about publicly. All right. But it affects these streams in a big way when you see me not acting right, when I'm changing the schedule around and everything. Yeah, it sucks. So here's the thing. It's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Okay. And you might say, well, what does that mean? If I had never said a thing that I was going through anything personal right now, okay, and then all of a sudden on a stream I explode and I'm pissed, or I put out a whole stream where I'm sounding like an asshole or whatever, but I haven't explained that this is very much because of stuff behind the scenes and not you guys or anything public facing, you know, that might actually hurt someone. That might actually like upset someone. So I feel it's my responsibility as a creator that every day I'm going to be on this stream that I at least tell you if there's something else going on So then you can be like, oh, I get it. So Phil's really in a bad mood, and that's why he's acting like this, you know. And this, particularly this last week and a half, 2 weeks, has been really bad. Okay? So I just see that, again, it's the right thing to do. If I had completely told you all of my business top to bottom, now that's oversharing. When you guys come to my streams, correct? You want to unplug. You're here to chill. You're here to have a good time. You're here to have a nice podcast and we have some conversation, hear about game news. Then you want to see me jump into a game during the gameplay session and you know, have a hangout session if it's a chill game, or a more intense session if it's a multiplayer game. But in general, you're not here to get wrapped up in the sorrows and the problems of others. You have your own. You don't want to come here and hear a sob story, and I get that. That is definitely something that over the years I have learned from and changed for the better, despite the fact that people on the internet act like everything is universal and can never be changed. I'm sorry, I absolutely have done my best to change for the better and not turn this into the woe is me, feel bad for Phil stream, okay? All right? There's stuff going on. You don't need to know about it, but it is affecting my content, and there's nothing I can do about that either, and I'm sorry for that. But I hope that you would understand, and hopefully you're still enjoying the content despite the fact that it is being affected. Okay? And then, you know, and the thing is, of course, like they say, when it rains, it pours. It can't just be one thing, then another thing has to happen, then some drama has to happen, then some bullshit has to happen. That's the worst possible timing, and it's like, it all compounds. So not only do I have this shit going on in my life, but then I got to hear about, did you hear about this drama, that drama, this drama? I could give two fucks about it. I've got real shit going on. I don't have to worry about your internet bullshit. Really, it's just so stupid. Why the fuck would I care about all this nonsense you're bringing to my table when I have this immediate heavy shit going on? You know?
Now, I'll just point this out right here, Phil. If your whole idea was to show that you can't get money unless you beg people for money, that's really bad for your business. You're supposed to be a gaming channel, and that speaks volume about your quote-unquote business. And even if you look at the June the King documentary, when he interviewed your fans, and they said, oh, I see him as a buddy. My buddy was in trouble. I wanted to help him out, so I gave him money. But you know, definitely not a cult. And as soon as he said his social experiment was over, man, oh man, the begging came back tenfold. And it was all over the place. It's almost like he did 2 days of begging in one to make up for it. And then people were commenting about how drunk Phil was during the marathon. And Phil said, oh, I may have been drunk, but I sobered up after the cameras went off, so he could spend time with his wife. And as Poems Past points out, the last 5 shots all happened within the last 30 minutes of stream. There is no way you got drunk and sobered up at the end. Then DSP shows how much he loves his son when he sees he gets hurt, and then basically just says, oh, are you okay? And then goes on to begging some more.
And I'm going to be asking you every day. And I'm going to be asking you, Jasper, are you okay? You all right? He jumped in the window and he slipped, and he fell out of the window. You all right? I think he got caught up in the curtains. Poor guy. Okay, let's continue. Because this is the road less traveled, because this is the one that no one does.
Then someone sent him a $1 tip, and DSP responded by saying a $1 tip is a waste. Then we have Gamerface Gaming. This is him failing his goals yesterday by not begging. Remember, when his goal was $100 and him saying $50 was good enough, all of this is just him trying to justify his ways of creating hype for interaction, aka begging nonstop. So you clowns making fun of my ways, get debunked. Then DSP went on to say that he would rather have his family suffer than take a sponsorship. His words, Mr. Views, I don't think anyone with a family would hold themselves in such high regard that they wouldn't do what was needed to support their family. Then I put this out. DSP always says people donate to him because they love the content and him. They don't donate because they feel forced through begging. Today, DSP said people didn't donate yesterday because he didn't beg. That says more about your content than you think, Phil. Then absolutely disgusting. DSP is now claiming that the person that made death threats to Lexi was actually a detractor doing it in his name to get him in trouble because they were bored. And then would you look at that classic line from DSP? He's complaining no one is talking in his YouTube chat. Then DSP's gonna talk about PPP bringing up his wife and calling her fat, and how he's not about the drama life, and how he'll never be the big dog, but maybe he will, who knows.
My wife again. All right, you ready? Ashton is fucked up for ever bringing up my wife. He should never have her name in his mouth, and I've spoken with him about it. And if he continues to bring her up in his content, whether it's his show or mine, smart guys, I will no longer work with him. We've had it out. I talked to him about it. It's fucked up that he would ever bring her up. It's one thing if he brings me up and he wants to razz on me because he's helped me out tremendously. All right? My wife has nothing to do with him or his content. And I swear to God, if he fucking brings her up again in a negative way in his content, I will cut ties with that man. My wife.
Now the question is, what will happen here? Will PPP bring his wife up again? And if he does, how will DSP respond to this? Will he stand up like a man, defend his wife? Or will he be a coward little baby back bitch and not do anything? We're gonna find out very soon, don't worry. Then DSP goes on a rant about detractors and basically anyone who's given him criticism about his begging, and he doesn't care because they're losers and they don't support him.
So every one of them can get fucked. None of what you say matters. None of your criticism is valid. You're a bunch of fucking loser lowlifes, and you don't mean anything to me. What does mean something to me are the people who are here day in, day out, hanging out with me on stream, supporting me in moral ways and financial ways to allow me to do what I love. Those are the people who are going to support me, or they're the reason that I'm still here. After 17 years and so many other people who become irrelevant, or they quit and they ran away and tapped out, I'm still fucking here.
And because he didn't beg yesterday, he is now begged 3 different times in under 2 minutes for $150. Then here we have a screenshot from Yakuza. I see now. So that's how you ended up starting this barefaced scam to earn money. Sounds familiar, doesn't it, Phil? Then of course, DSP saw August the Duck's video on him. And of course, DSP can't let this stand. And he's gonna attack August the Duck and say he's more successful, DSP, than August the Duck. Delusion of grandeur.
We've got actual creators on the internet making documentaries about me saying I'm the greediest creator? Are you fucking kidding me? Have you ever watched anyone else, you pathetic fucking schlub? You are so lame because you take the low-hanging fruit, the easy target that everyone's already targeted, to make a worthless fucking video that rehashes the same shit and just ignores the fact that there are people 47 times worse than me who actively hurt people on a fucking daily basis to get ahead. But somehow I'm the greediest person on the internet. Get fucked, you disingenuous fucking loser who has no idea how to actually make a documentary. What a fucking loser schlub to pull my name out of the hat and say I'm the greedy guy. You're nuts.
Then we have Bunny with a factual observation. What gets me is Phil has defended DERICH harder than his own wife. Make it make sense. Then we have Steve of the Dead at the bottom. Consider this. Phil spent more time with DERICH than he has with the woman he married. Poems past. We are now living in a space where it's completely possible we will see the casino banned and DERICH returning. Then we have King Jad. To be fair to PPP, Cat is a big fat fucking bitch. Just a factual observation. And then we have PPP. It is a fact. I'm not sure why there's so much hostility surrounding observing reality. Maybe it's because he lives in a walled off fantasy land of his own creation, where black is white, up is down, and it's mature, positive content, dude. Then DSP goes on to say that he doesn't shut down his PC at night because the PC continues to upload after he's out of the office. Gout. I thought DSP had to babysit the uploads, and that's why he's in his office so late. Also, keep in mind that also could explain all his tech issues. During Yakuza, DSP had a thought. He wonders if dog owners use the word zoomies like cat owners do.
Got a perfect name too. Since you love to run around, I'll call you Zoomies. Zoomies is what they call what a cat has when a cat is like hyper out of nowhere. Its eyes are all wide and it starts acting wild, bouncing off the walls. They say the cat has the zoomies, so wonder if they say that about dogs too. But I've only heard the term used with cats.
DSP goes on to say he doesn't have time to do Windows updates because he's either working or uploading. And we have Baldo at the bottom. Automatic updates are a thing, especially since he doesn't shut the thing off. Then we have Duty Streams showing The Simpsons, Duty Streams as the teacher, and the class is saying, say the line, PPP. And you have PPP, cat is fat. And then you have the class, yeah. And DSP's begging was not working. He was sitting there for 20 minutes, begging people at the start of the Lego stream to give him money before he starts playing with Legos. And then he just gave up and started playing with Legos. And then people were bringing up what PPP said, and DSP said he doesn't want to hear about drama tonight. This is a chill Lego stream. Save it for after the stream is over. Then we have this picture of PPP as Chris Rock and DSP as Will Smith, where he says, don't call my fat wife fat. Look at this, guys, another donated item. This time, a wrist rest. Then DSP was having tech issues yet again. You know, the computer that he never shuts down. Because his cameras were not working, so it may be a one camera setup, but then ran to the bathroom and played his slideshow for 9 minutes. But remember, unlike other creators, other streamers, he doesn't waste your time, dude. Then someone brings up in the Kick Chat that there is Lego Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles. DSP, they have those? Damn, I like both, lol. Then we have Alt Inside Her at DSP Gaming Real. Are we going to get a statement about PPP's reply about you an hour ago? DSP, I didn't hear it. I was actually with my wife. Alt Inside Her, it's on his Twitter replies. And then DSP says, literally nothing I've said has changed. The ball is in his court to either act or not. So I guess we'll see what happens. I just did ask him directly how he's going to proceed, so I guess we'll find out by tomorrow. Then remember how Legos is a reward for giving him 30 streams of $150? And you also have to give him $150 on that reward stream? Well, guess what, guys? If you give him more money, he'll do more Legos and it will unlock a new Lego set. Then DSP, being the weird alien that he is going to explain why he lines up all the pieces in neat rows.
Some people are actually asking me, why am I lining them up like this? Well, number one, because it's something to do on camera, right? I don't want to grab these pieces from off camera. And number two, because it's easy access. I have to build 6 things out of these. So to have them all lined up, I could just do it like an assembly line, as opposed to constantly just going back to a pile of random pieces and trying to find them. By doing it this way, you're saving yourself the time and effort later. But I guess some people don't do anything with like a methodology in life. You never actually built anything. Like, this is how you would do it. You don't just go, oh, pile here, where's the piece? Where's the piece? They'll take you 7 times longer. You do this sorting work up front, and then you'd use this to build what you're going to build.
Oh, and look at that. Support was not there, so guess what DSP does? He's hanging around to see if we can hit the goal. What a generous guy, dude. The DSP was complaining about smart guys, and says he only wants to talk about wrestling on there. And also, he wants to do another show with PPP, which is not wrestling related, but they can't come to an agreement. Then for the very first time ever, DSP is getting his wife flowers. However, it's the Lego flowers he built himself after getting all that money. And he says it could pass off as real plants. Also, he's gonna let her set them somewhere in the house as decoration. Then DSP always complains that DSP Throwback is so much work and there's so much that goes into it, when in reality it's all his editors doing everything for him. All he does is title it and upload it. So he's complaining that he has to watch all the episodes before they post in bed as he sleeps. Now keep in mind, the only thing he's doing is putting a title on it and uploading it. And I'm sure this is definitely not going to backfire on him. He says RPG Overload is over now, so it's okay to play them again. How many times, old man, we gotta teach you this lesson? And also says he has no time to watch movies because he has to spend time with his family, such as cleaning the house. Now here's a really wild idea for you, Phil. You could spend time with your family by watching movies together. I know, it's a crazy thought. And guess what? He got a lot of anonymous tips coming in, so the next Lego set is unlocked. And for the next 3 weeks, he's gonna discuss it with his audience on his pre-stream. What a great reward. And since he hit the goal, he's gonna do something for you. DSP tries it, Girl Scout cookies. And look at that, look how absolutely pathetic this is. Girl Scout cookie on a paper plate, eaten by a 42-year-old man. And he also says $6 for cookies isn't bad, which is absolutely a lie, because cookies are $7.99 in the grocery store. Now, I know what he's doing. He's going to the most expensive one, because what DSP likes to think is price equals quality. If you get the highest amount, the highest quality, that means it's the best one. It's sad he lived his entire life like that, and also keep in mind, supposedly he's a business major in finance. And he declares, tomorrow will be a no drama podcast, but only if he can help it. And then look at that, when he took out the Thin Mints, the Girl Scout cookies, most of it was already gone. I wonder who ate those. Because it definitely wasn't DSP. Then we have Poems Past. He's a living parody of what media has told him what adulthood is.
Gabriel says, right, but even with watching new releases, etc., anything beyond just time constraints, if you still stay up to date with new movies and watch new movies. Oh, dude, it's very simple, okay? I am in my 40s now. I'm a married man. I'm a family man. And my time is not all my own anymore. I do have some time to myself, but not nearly as much as I used to have, right? When I'm not streaming, I'm usually doing something with my wife or for my family. I just don't have time to sit around watching movies all day anymore. You know, that's what happens when you have a family and you commit to doing that, right? And by the way, I don't regret it whatsoever. I really enjoy it. I wish I had more time to spend with my wife, okay? When you're talking about, oh, Fizzle used to watch movies all the time. Yeah, I was a bachelor. I literally had nothing to do whatsoever. As soon as I finished recording, I was done. I had nothing to do. Now I have a million things to do. I maintain a household. I have my house and myself, right? I got to clean, got to do things and work with my wife, right? All of this is part of growing up.
And now DSP is going to respond to PPP and say that he should stop talking about his wife. He's coping all over Twitter, and he's waiting for his response in his DMs and how he's going to proceed forward.
We'll be on it. However, people with this drama brought it up on the podcast earlier today, and they publicly said to me, Phil, are you going to respond to PPP because of what he said about you and your wife on his show on Monday night? To which I responded, I don't care what he says about me, but I care that he brings up my wife, and it's this simple. If he does not agree to leave her out of anything, then I'm not going to continue to work with him. I have presented that to him, and I'm awaiting his response. If he agrees and says, all right, I'm not going to do that anymore, I get it, then fine. But if he doesn't, then I'm done. So tomorrow night, we'll see what happens, all right? Hopefully he agrees to it, and, we'll be able to do the show normally. If not, then I guess I'm going to do it by myself, okay? And by the way, no, you guys are trying to start drama. He on X, he literally skirted around everything. He's the kind of guy, you have to understand something about Ashton, all right? He's the kind of guy that he loves dancing around the drama, right? And so he does a tweet that doesn't outright say anything that doesn't have my wife's name in it, doesn't insult her. He's just dancing around it for the drama's sake. Do you get it? So I'm waiting for his answer definitively overnight. I told him, either get to me overnight or tomorrow morning. No rush. I know you're doing your show tonight. And I'm going to wait for his answer. If he says, I agree, I'm not going to do that messed up stuff anymore with your wife, then fine. We're good. And if he says, no, I can't do that, I can't commit to not insulting your wife publicly, then I'm not doing any more content with him. And tomorrow I will go solo. We'll do a solo Smart Guys covering Raw, SmackDown and Raw, and then we will determine the future of the show after that. All right? I would like to think he's going to do the right thing, but I don't know if he will. You guys probably know him better than me. Okay? Either way, I'm fine with it. Obviously, I really like doing the show with him. I think it's a great show because we really go off of each other very well, right? But I'm sorry, I just very well, right? But I'm sorry. I can't have someone who thinks that every single thing is possible and nothing is taboo and say anything about anything. Just go ahead, right? No, that's not how it works. If you have someone who you work with who's a coworker and you're respected, you know, you don't go out of your way. And I've already told him, you can say whatever you want about me. 100%, you know? But sorry, you're just not going to go there. For someone who's not part of my content, who has never said or done a negative thing to anyone on the internet, it's just not allowed, all right? So let's see what he says overnight and go from there. I will believe what he says and go from there. And then tomorrow we'll see if it's just me or him with me. It's up to him. Either way, I'm doing the show. It's the same setup. Everything's the same. It's just whether he's on the show or not. And go from there. And like I said, you know, if the show goes well and it's a solo show, then maybe we just decide to continue solo, or maybe the show absolutely sucks and is boring as dirt with me just doing it by myself if it's a solo show, and then we don't do it anymore. You know, we'll see. I'm okay with, and you know, I'm fine. It would be disappointing because I really have enjoyed doing the show for the last 2.5 months, but what can I do, right? Okay. That's it, guys. So have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow for the podcast. And
Then someone asked, why would you bring back Flight Simulator? And DSP said, it went away because the whole point was people gave tips and stuff to fly places, and that dried up. AKA, people stopped giving me money, dude. And then we have this video here, middle manager Phil Burnell. Go subscribe to Seizure Robot 5000. I'm not going to play the whole thing here. We'll play a little bit of it, and we'll have some fun with this.
where are we at for the week? Let's talk about the schedule, the goals, and all of that, shall we? We are at 36 out of 40 goals attained. When we attain 40 goals, it is time for a radical pizza party, dudes. We're gonna have a pizza party. Are we gonna do Domino's, Pizza Hut, or Papa John's? All right? I'm going to eliminate another pizza right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I am eliminating Pizza Hut. I've eliminated Pizza Hut. That's right, you can't even look at me right now because I'm such an evil villain. Exactly. I'm such a heinous individual. Everything I do just exudes toxicity and negativity, and you can't stand to look at me for a second. I know. So it's going to be a choice between Domino's and Papa John's, all right? Two unique places, all right? One of them, probably the longest running one in America, Domino's. I remember that ever since I was a kid, they were the big fast food.
Then PPP shows off a video where DSP says it's okay to call people retarded, and quotes it and says fat is not an insult, it's a descriptive term. Describing biological reality was used often on the playground as kids. Not offensive. Some people need to harden up and not be such sissies about things they choose to share online. And then adds on to it, I also want to make it clear, Phil is not a victim and never has been. He makes himself the victim and plays the victim desperately, but his decisions are his own. He chooses to make himself out to be a victim because it's easier than taking accountability. It's never his fault. And also says, I'm gonna make a stand for Phil facing the truth. I'm not gonna stop telling the truth out of pity for Phil. Pitying Phil and enabling his bullshit denials of reality is not in his best interest or in mine. He is having a tough time privately, but he needs a reality check. Then later on the casino, PPP said this.
Let's go, Soulful! Soulful! Arcade Outpost has gifted us some!
Let's go, everyone.
How
Let's
many
go.
are we away from the goal? Dick Jones for 4 songs!
Here's all the names.
Huge support! Dark Side Phil will never see it! Donate the subs to Phil! Ginger! Vitus 18 answering the call for 5 songs! Woo! Richard has gifted a sub. Manchurian candidate for a sub.
Then DSP put this out. Drama is so overrated. As you get older, you realize just how stupid it is. Despite the fact that the internet eats it up, sadly today, which is gonna be Thursday, I have to address the elephant in the room on the Level 1 podcast, which is weird because the whole thing's about his wife and he says the elephant in the room. So this one will be a can't miss for some and a no shit Sherlock for others. Finally, this isn't about his wife, it's about respect. Phil showed zero respect for me or Andy or Steve or anyone else who tried to help him yesterday. He threw it all in my face with his third path lazy bullshit and refused to ever try to put in effort. It's a waste of resources. And look at that, DSP, late yet again. It's almost like he's scared to go live today. I wonder why. And now it's time for DSP to play the victim and PPP is the bad guy. And he's going to talk about how he's above drama. He didn't want to get involved with this, even though DSP reached out to Kino Casino. And he's also going to say how he's done working with PPP and he's coping all over Twitter.
Basically, PPP this year wanted to get me heavily involved in all kinds of drama and stuff, all right? But that's as far as I'm going to say. I'm not going to tell you anything because that's private shit, all right? But basically, I kind of turned it down, left, right, up, down, in every direction. Not to say that I wasn't willing to play ball or try stuff, but I was convinced, I keep turning this camera on and off, it's annoying me. I was convinced that, sadly, if I did go as far and do these things that these guys, or I say these guys, it was basically just, PPP, the stuff that they had these plans for, I was going to have to throw away 17 years of work that I had put into the blood, the sweat, the tears that I had put into my work to get where I am today. Because as I said yesterday, if I go all the way into the drama, 100%, okay, I can't go back. All right. First of all, right now, PPP is sitting on his Twitter very hurriedly and scaredly tweeting. I don't know why. It's like the guy's terrified about what I'm going to say or something. I don't know. I don't get it. It's like he still doesn't get it of who I am today versus who I used to be. I don't know. But he's just going crazy on there, saying a million things. Oh, this and that about all toxic stuff. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not sitting there reading your Twitter. People are talking about it in my chat. I'm never going to read it. I don't care. All right? I don't know what his problem is, but here's the truth about all of this. We had good plans. We had plans, I'm not even kidding you, for at least 2 other projects that I feel at least one of them would have actually worked. Not full drama, maybe some drama, but projects where I could be involved from time to time, where things would go well, and it would be cool because you get to see a different side of me, right? As opposed to just me just sitting here playing games, right? You want to see that. That's different, it's fun. But now those projects are dead simply because this guy wants to just push the envelope. For what? For what reason? I mean, in my opinion, that's just bad business. Not even saying if you like me or you don't, or I like them or I don't. We were actually doing stuff together that was working, that was getting attention. Even smart guys, to the extent that it was working, was still working. It wasn't blowing up and making thousands of dollars a show, but we were getting good views. We were getting some money. So why burn that bridge? I don't understand it. That doesn't make sense to me because I'm not burning any bridges here. PPP is the one burning the bridges. He's the one saying the toxic stuff. He's the one bringing up my wife, which he apologizes for, says he knows it's wrong, and it does it again anyway. He's the one ending it, not me. It's through his actions that this is all coming to fruition, not mine. So I don't get it. I don't. It makes me scratch my head. But then again, the older I get, I realize that not everyone is me. Not everyone sees things the way I see. Not everyone has the same perspective as me, and that's okay. Everyone's from a different walk of life. And like I said, different places, different age ranges. It's all different, correct? So be it. If that's how he wants it, he can have his way. but I'm just not going to waste my time on it. I've got better things to do than to get into an internet blood sport with PPP over nonsense. Even when, because it's bullshit anyway. It's fabrication. It's not real. It's nonsense. I'm not going to do it. You know? A few people saying, he wants to come on Smart Guys tonight to hash it out. No. We're not going to do that. That's what he wants. He wants to create drama content. And he felt like this was his way to force the hand. You don't get it. And this is what no one gets. I think finally, you want to know who I think actually gets it? Keemstar.
DSP goes on to say, I like doing drama content with you and look forward to doing more in the future. Then he says, Smart Guys now, going forward, is going to be solo, just him. Then we have Dick Stroke and Phil Vlogs. So sorry to hear that the knockoff Smart Guys didn't work out for you, Phil. Who would have guessed? John Rambo, probably. And Phil also claims that PPP has apologized to him multiple times behind the scenes for calling Kat fat. Then DSP explained why Kat stopped doing content with him, and it's because of health reasons. And it's gotten worse. This is just like side scrollers. Did you find the restraining order? Did you know that he was beating her? And DSP says, it's not fair that PPP is insulting his wife. If PPP had a wife, he would not insult her. Then DSP announced that not only is Smart Guys going to be solo, just him, if you don't support Smart Guys tonight, it is cancelled, it is gone, forever. He also said he doesn't really talk to Andy. Phil mostly talks to PPP to work on things. And I put out PPP equals John Rambo, Andy equals Howard. And DSP is sad, because his gaming soulmate, Andy, was not able to collab with him as much as he wanted to. And says he doesn't want to become a drama streamer and throw away 17 years of being a gamer. Because once he becomes a drama streamer, he can't go back to being a chill gamer after that. Now you'll never believe this. Guess what DSP blamed on his momentum of the King arc, the resurgence, why it died? It's because Kino Casino went on vacation. Now Phil, that says more about your content. If Kino Casino is giving your blessing to their viewers, and they go on vacation, they got nothing else to watch, so they go to your streams and they don't support you. Think about that, Phil. That says a lot more about you and your content than anything else. Also said he had private conversations with his wife about drama content, and they agreed they don't want to make manufactured drama. He said he was making money, but drama stuff is not the right choice. Then he said the line about the clown makeup and how it never comes off, and he says it'll apply to him if he does the drama content. Despite him going solo tonight, he says he wants to get another co-host on Smart Guys. And despite everything that has been said by PPP and DSP, DSP now says he will still work with PPP if he apologizes and say he won't do it again. And he's also worried that the Kino Casino audience is going to leave him. And he hopes Kino Casino viewers stick around and stay. And also promises them that new releases are coming out and hopefully they can build momentum on Kick. DSP was upset, he couldn't believe it, that Kino Casino was calling their viewers pay pigs. Like you haven't said worse, Phil. And as Dick Stroke and Phil Vlog points out, in the same rant, he says, Smart Guys getting sent to ban world unless you tip guys. Then despite him saying, in conversations with his wife, that he made money doing drama, but it wasn't the right choice, he now says he doesn't make bank off of drama. Look at that first stream he did with Kino Casino on DSP Reacts with the RTU documentary. You tell me he didn't make bank on that stream. His audience just wants to chill and do games. And DSP is always the last person to notice things and get the jokes. He's now realizing that PPP was actually insulting his wife. At first he thought regurgitated detractor memes. Then we have this super chat from I got a question for God. Why? Shame about the breakup. Love the show. PPP has made fun of Andy's girlfriend and has been jokingly calling Andy a PDF with zero clapback. Ironically, PPP's old wrestling show ended when PPP's co-host exposed his girl. Then we have Esther. He just talked about Kat's health problems to get sympathy. He did this with his last girlfriend too. Every low of him. And then PPP responds, he did this to me too. He laid a heavy burden of personal issues on me as a guilt trip to milk my good graces. Then we have the crunchiest onion. To be honest, I think it became obvious what was going on once Truth Seeker's ambush interview happened. And PPP's response to the guy about the setup was, well, we'll see you next Tuesday, when they laughed. Everyone saw this coming. Day one, everyone saw this coming except for Phil. And then, just like every single year, DSP potentially has to take 3 night streams off to do taxes. And then PPP, what's crazy is that Phil's solution to protecting his wife from a fat man calling her fat is to use her as a human sympathy shield and reveal she has medical issues, as though this will stop trolls from making fun of her instead of giving more ammo. Just unhinged and sad. Then we see a picture of a pig roast. And then interestingly, PPP puts this out. Should I start dropping receipts of everything because apparently I'm so scared for Phil to reveal it all. I have a feeling he won't like what can be shown behind the curtain. Then we have Bloom Kit, an actual dent for DSP. Kino is a huge part of your resurgence. Don't you think that at least you owe it to PPP to hash it out tonight? I think that's fair. Then we have this from Next Gen Guy. What a dick.
Phil, I'm sorry this happened. Will you check out WWE 2K25? I don't know, and honestly, I don't really care about that right now. That's the last thing on my mind. Ask me another day when we're actually talking about games, perhaps, and I'll give a shit. I really don't give a shit right now about that topic. Thank you. Kind of not what we're discussing right now. Okay.
Then we have some band names from the previous day. Green Chair Condom Real, Pika with Hard Real, DSP Defend DERICH, More Than Cat, Dumb Bitch is Fat, She's Fat, Cat 88 Thin Mint Real, Drift King Cyrax, Flat Earth for Jesus, DSP Vapid Real, Review Tech North Korea, American MAGA Undertaker, August the Duck, Dumpy Lexus, a la Bloodborne Real. And now DSP's gonna explain that because he's in his 40s, he can't drink Kool-Aid.
Average Hyena Enjoyer, what a weird name, with a $5 Canadian super chat, that's like $3, says, would you ever consider getting blue Kool-Aid and drinking it and calling it Slurp Juice from the hit video game Fortnite Battle Royale? I don't foresee myself drinking Kool-Aid, in my midlife. It doesn't really appeal to me. It's pretty much nothing that I would think about the flavor of. Probably not.
Then we have this message in chat from Not Spineless Phil. Phil has no spine. Couldn't even go to his face and tell him. Coward. Then DSP's gonna mess up something else. He's gonna say, I believe we struck a hot iron, or whatever they say.
Co-op gameplay of Chained Together, right? I feel like we struck a hot iron or whatever the hell you want to say. Whatever you call it. I don't know the saying, but like that was something that had never been done before.
Then we have Lord Diaz Reality World. Updated. Thank you, Nerd Brew. And we see John Cena with PPP's face and Cody Rhodes with the back of Phil's head with the moment that John Cena turned on Cody Rhodes. Then we have Duty. DSP tells another African super chatter to fuck off. I'm seeing a pattern. This is worth $10. Wasn't it okay for you to say the R word because it was descriptive? Why is it bad to comment on your wife's weight? Can descriptive things be offensive?
Then we have Cesar, who used a VPN to do a 50 whatever R currency is super chat and thinks that I'm going to answer his insanely stupid question. Well, your super chat's worth $2. Okay? So much like I felted the Nigerian super chat for the guy using a VPN to try to get my attention, I'm not answering your question. You can go fuck yourself. So I hope someone clips that and makes a whole documentary about it. Okay? Whatever the R currency is, that's worth $2 instead of the 50 that you tried to super chat to get me to answer a risque question. You can shove it up your ass. Okay.
Then we see that Stephen Cambion is doing another pig roast today, episode 4. He's gonna have a special guest though, which is gonna be PPP. And PPP quotes it and says, tonight at 8 p.m., DSP is getting roasted by Truth Seekers. I will be joining at 9 p.m. to destroy Phil, and then at 10 p.m., we'll be sniping Phil and demanding he confront us on Smart Guys, or he's forever felt it scared little bitch. Tune in, get hype. And then also adds on to it, this will most likely be the start of a weekly series where we grill Phil until he decides to stop being a massive pussy and play in the sandbox like a big boy. Then remember when PPP decided to ask people, should I drop the DMs? Kinda sad, do it. And then Frank Hassel, let's go talk to him. Agent Proper, bet. Then we see PPP driving the short bus with Phil riding along, and Zolo says, you've been eating good for so long, but now the ride's over. Get off my bus. Then we have Ethan Ralph make an appearance. If you want to piss off PPP, DSP, replace him with me on Smart Guys. I've forgotten more about wrestling than he knows. And we will print money. And then the official thumbnail of Stephen Cambion's stream, Phil on the Cross, the Pig Roast Crucifixion, with Stephen Cambion and PPP. And look at that, 1,000 viewers for the Pig Roast. Then even the Kino dents are turning on Phil. King Phil has stooped lower than ever before, letting his mom, wife, Cat trick him into snaking his best friend PPP over mere factual observations. We're taking DSP's crown away from him. And over on Smart Guys, DSP announced he will open WWE card packs for every $100, just like the shots. And look how petty he got. Smart Guys with the X over the S, so it's Smart Guy. And look it, DSP's top whale is out in force. Anonymous. And trust me, all night, it was an anonymous show. And now it's time to look at the craziness. New lore dropped. New craziness, new stuff learned, and a lot of laughs had. Let's have fun with this and hear exactly what was said between PPP and Stephen Cambion.
You know, I come from sales, and in sales, the motto we had at the company, anything that you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. If you can put together the plan on how to conceive and how to do it, and you can believe in it and work that plan, then you can achieve anything. And there's a lot of things
good attitude
that I was able to do with Darkside Phil that nobody thought would be possible, but I had belief that it could be done. But eventually, recently, my belief went away. So I could conceive how it was possible, but I could no longer believe that it was so, and so it could no longer be achieved, and so I am cutting my losses, and I'm going to get a return on my investment by now fucking with Phil until I feel like I get my fucking money and time back.
Yeah,
I never really will, but because he's scared of confrontation. He would never ever stand up for his wife in public. If somebody slapped his wife's ass at the bar, he would do fucking nothing. He would probably watch as his wife gets fucked in the alleyway by a black bull. Let's be fucking real. This guy, that's why he doesn't go outside. He's
afraid his wife's gonna get banged by a black dude? What?
He got down on his fucking knees at the Street Fighter tournament and begged this guy not to whoop his fucking ass, and tears came from his eyes, and he said he was a fucking alcoholic. And then we wonder why he won't bring me on to confront him tonight. It's because he's scared. It's because he's spineless. It's because he's a cockroach. He's a fucking worm. And he's afraid of anybody that is any sort of a man, that has any sort of a masculine presence. He doesn't know how to behave in a friend group or a setting because this guy has never had any friends. Let's be real. It was always super awkward when we brought him on with me and Andy because he's never been a part of a male friend group, and he views anybody who is his friend as a means to an end. It's not somebody that he genuinely cares about. To him, people are tools. John Rambo was a tool. Howard was a tool to him.
You use everybody, yeah.
I was a tool to him as well. He didn't genuinely care about me or anything. By the way, this guy, I was so...
It's probably the biggest Phil bag yet, P, so thank you.
Now there goes, both of you are petty. Oh, brother, you don't know just how petty PPP can be.
PPP is going full petty next week.
Like Ralph mode, fucking petty and savage on fucking Phil's ass. Fuck Piggy. Let Piggy fucking seethe. I hope Piggy suffers. Suffer, Piggy, Phil.
Piggy, yes.
All right, guys.
Let's keep going. We're going to do a few more minutes of this.
I understand why.
You know, I offered to pay this guy's flight and his wife's flight to Florida for the Super Bowl so that we could hang out in Florida. We were all going to fly down together. I offered to pay for the pet sitter for his pets. I offered to pay for his wife's ticket, his ticket, give them 2-3 days alone so they could have the honeymoon they never fucking had. He turned it down because he had to take care of his cat.
You couldn't leave the cat with a stranger, P. Come on.
It would be a traumatic experience for him. And
I'm just putting this out there, just letting you know, my kids really want to go to Disneyland. You know, I'm just saying.
And if we went into the DMs, I have receipts of all of that. I pleaded with him. Every excuse that he ever made, every objection.
Yeah, and you just wanted to get him out of the house and do something nice for him as a friend. Like, here, I'll pay for your honeymoon that you never gave your wife.
Because
you're a good guy, Pete.
I want him to get out of the house. He has to get out of that house. And here's why I chose to do the wrestling show with Phil. Aside from that, it was a Trojan horse to fuck with him and humiliate him and shit like that.
Oh, no.
I chose it because it was something that I thought he would actually be passionate about. Because it seems to me he's not actually passionate about anything. The only time I've ever seen him be passionate is when he's playing WWE Champions on live stream. Then he knew everything about the game. He was excited to play. He was smiling. He was happy. He was in his element. And so he was a lifelong fan of wrestling. I figure, okay, this is something that
he really likes. He'll be excited
to talk about, and it could be a good show. But he never really got that excited about it. He never really grew into his own. He did a little bit better after the first couple weeks, but he was still shit. And so it's like, you're not passionate about anything. And I don't know how somebody like sleepwalks like a zombie through life like this, where they have no real passions, they have no real interests. Every minute, every hour of his day is accounted for and can be tracked on a spreadsheet. And he tells us everything that he does within a week. And it's very pathetic, and it's a very sad existence that he has. And he's
absolutely
miserable, and he's depressed. And it's why he's an alcoholic, and he's neurotic, and he's crazy like he is because of the lifestyle that he leads.
Yeah.
It's interesting. He's asked PPP how he feels about Phil defending DERICH more than Kat. Isn't that sad that Phil put more of a defense up for a pedophile that has playlists of pictures of little girls playing in school grounds?
Well, this PDF file was giving him money, though. I don't know that his wife gives him money.
Well, the thing is, I actually don't think that guy donated, which makes it even weirder. How defensive he was of that guy. I guess it was because he was just a genuine fan of Phil, and he did like maybe some behind the scenes work for him or whatever as to why he did. But like, me and Josh Moon are confronting it. It's like, listen, Phil, like, either he's got to go or we're going to fucking go. And that was one thing I was really proud of doing, was purging that pedophile from Phil's community, because he was a creepy fucking weirdo. But the fact that Phil, like, thought that it was more of a W to keep his pedophile in chat than to just take the L from the detractors was insane to me. It's like, well, if I give in to the detractors here, like, where will it end? It's like, just banish this pedophile.
Yeah,
and
like,
I won't be surprised if he
really
brings the guy back. I really hope he doesn't. I really hope Phil learns something, and that a lot of the positive changes that I managed to get Phil to enact stick. It's not like I did what I did at the top of this show and exposed like his dirty kidnapping scheme for what it is, where he like controls her with evil mind control tactics, isolating her from her family like he did to Panda, fattening her up to lower her self-esteem. These are the dirty, evil tactics and I never said any of that stuff, and I could have.
Well, you're saying it now. Let's see what else he has to say.
Listen, I'm not going to get into everything with Phil. Phil can decide how far he wants this shit to go. I don't know. Should I just go full bore and
just drop it? Yeah,
and just go in on his wife's fucking medical condition?
Fuck him, P. He fucked you. Fuck him right back. Fuck him right back.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
But, he's concerned that his wife is going to die and she's becoming more religious. And so Phil feels like he needs to be more religious, and so he can't be a heel. And I just feel like
come on.
I feel like that's fucking nonsense, because he actually is just an evil, horrible piece of shit all the time anyway. And he's not religious whatsoever.
You should embrace
the heel. I just feel like it's a total excuse, because he doesn't want to actually have to deal with people dunking on him. And so he hides away from controversy and conflict. And I don't know, man. I just don't have any respect for Phil.
Own
Yeah,
show.
and by the way, he
Sit-
always brings up his own private life. There's no detail of this guy's private life that
He
doesn't
doesn't
go
have a private
unsaid.
life. Yeah, he doesn't
Not
have a
really.
private
I
life.
mean, there are some things that he told me behind the scenes about his private life, like, you know, that who knows if they're true or if they're not, because the guy's a total fucking liar.
And he's manipulating you.
You know,
into
there
feeling
are
sorry for him,
some
yeah.
things that would be surprising for people to know about his life that he did tell me. But, you know, Phil hasn't quite yet aggrieved me to the point. I'm still hoping that Phil will apologize and see the error of
Yeah,
his
so you're not
ways.
going to go scorched earth yet.
Not yet, but he's like on a reckless path. You know, he was talking about how he was the big dog yesterday. Well, I'll show him whose yard it is there, Phil.
I guess if he crawls back and apologizes, then you'll
If he apologizes, I'll bring him back. I'll be really nice to him. I'll hold him by the hand and rebuild his career because he knows he can't do it himself. He's much like the directionless losers that sign up for LOLCOW Live, but at least they have the sense to know that it was over for them and that they need to listen to Daddy Keemstar's wisdom. Now, maybe Phil will listen to Daddy Keemstar and he'll go and join LOLCOW Live and put on the clown makeup and dance and eat the bugs and be humiliated.
eat the cat food,
Yeah,
do the humiliation rituals.
Humiliation rituals, and that's really what he deserves for his retirement plan, for his golden years, is to be Keemstar's slave, and I hope that he does it. And hopefully this has spurred him to realize, well, you know, maybe PPP was too mean on me. Well, you'll see the yoke and the burden that I put on you, Phil, was light. Keemstar's yoke and Keemstar's burden will be heavy, and you will be his slave, and he will own your ass, and he will dominate you and destroy you, and I hope it happens. But the one thing to note about that, the $50,000, Phil, I'm afraid, is off the table, and I don't.
Yeah, they're
think
going to
he'll-
give him 10 or something. Yeah, they're
no,
going to lowball him.
he won't get any of. He won't get any signing bonus now, and not only will he get no signing bonus, he'll get no equity because Boogie and Wings built that shit. Boogie and Wings have gone through the ringer.
They're not giving up their equity in that.
They've earned their fucking money. Keemstar is certainly not going to give it. What Phil will get is a flat rate to be a circus fucking clown.
Yeah, give him $100 or something.
$100 a show, $150, whatever your goal is, to be Keem's dancing fucking monkey bitch. Because you didn't believe in the project, you didn't invest in the project, you're a latecomer to the project, and fuck you. I offered you in at the ground floor of the Kino universe with Steve, with Andy, with me, with others. Probably nobody else will join, but still, we could have been a 4-horseman team.
If you want to keep a happy wife, happy life, I truly believe that.
I don't think he gives a shit about his wife at all. It's just he just wants to get to his gin, his WWE champions, and his DoorDash, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because half the time he was supposed to be spending with his wife, he was DMing me at 4 in the fucking morning.
Yeah, why isn't he just in bed with his wife at 4 in the morning?
All right, it's time to text you at 4 a.m. And if you don't respond, I'm going to be upset. Let me just tell you the truth, man. It was never really an opportunity because I knew that every dollar he would ever make would just be spent on WWE Champions, Gin, and DoorDash. So for those of you who are upset at me for enriching Phil, just realize that all of it went to worthless black holes and didn't go to anything that genuinely improved his life. And now his tax bill coming in next month is going to be a lot higher. You're welcome. Okay.
And then over on DSP Reacts, we had the new intro for Smart Guys, and it's as petty as you can tell. Then he opened up a card pack and he got Wendy Chu, who is a gimmick of being tired and sleepwalking and all that. And DSP thinks that she's a special needs person.
Okay. Who the hell is this? What is she wearing? She looks like she just came from a rave, right? Like she took a couple fucking bumps. What is in her hand? I have no clue what I'm looking at right now. Is that a wrestler? Is that... Wendy... Is that a special needs person? Like, seriously, what is going on in this? I mean, it's probably a really bizarre character, right? Because I have no clue what we're looking at. Wendy Chu. I'm sure some of you can explain, but I have no idea.
Then we have this comment in the chat. Afraid of dying, wife religious now says, "Hey Phil, why did you tell PPP that you were afraid that your wife is gonna die because of her weight? And she's become religious recently as a coping mechanism." Love the show, by the way. You know what happened after that? Ban, ban, ban. Gone. Forever. Smart Guys has always been a horrible show. The only good thing about it was the Grill Phil. And now Phil, who skims over the shows and doesn't actually watch them, is explaining to you what happened on the show and getting details incorrectly and not understanding what's going on the show.
Yeah. Finn and Carlito are talking in the back, and for some bizarre reason, I missed like the very beginning. I think they were actually breaking character, and I think it was scripted, where they're basically saying that it's like weird being bad guys instead of the good guys or something like that. And I was like, huh? Like, where did that come from? So I kind of scratched my head. I was like, all right. So it's another Judgment Day skit. And I'm going to be honest, I'm getting so tired of these Judgment Day skits that aren't going anywhere. It's another skit where Judgment Day show up, and of course, Finn's disappointed in them, but they say, oh, don't worry, later tonight, Bailey's going to wrestle Raquel, and this is going to be a qualifying title, or a qualifying match for the Intercontinental title. Also, Dominic tells Finn that he got Finn Balor an IC title match next week against Braun Breaker. And so Finn gives him a big hug. Go make it official, Finn. Go talk to Adam Pearce, okay? I thought this was leading up to some, like, joke where he'd go into the office and Adam Pearce would be like, what are you talking about? I never made that match. Why are you here and bothering me? It was like some kind of a punking or pranking. And when Finn came back, maybe they would finally jump him and say, you're out of the Judgment Day. But no, that's it. We never hear about it all night. So they're still dragging this plot line on. We all know there's going to be a payoff. This has been going on for like 2 months. I hope that it pays off soon because I'm getting really boring. Okay?
And look at that. The pig roast. Over $1,400. And the thing that pisses DSP off the most is when other people make more money than him. Then we have Dylan Smith. YouTube is free. No one should be paying this loser to beg for money. Get a job. We have Riaz. I'm sorry you lost your only friend. And look at that. 190 people watching. Smart Guys. That is sad. Sad, sad, sad. And pathetic. Then we have the gaming soulmate. Andy Worski. Say this about DSP. Okay, so we can stop pretending. And we don't need to be giving any more charity to DSP. Phew. I felt like I was underwater with this shit. Then DSP yelled at Slayer for putting wrestling spoilers in a super chat. Then DSP titles his video of responding to PPP a calm final response to the PPP drama. Oh, Phil. This is not an end. This is just the beginning. Just like you say, Phil, once you put the clown makeup on, you can't take it off. Once you step into the drama sphere, you cannot leave. You will not be allowed to leave. You are there forever. Then DSP is going to make a very DSP response to how he feels about the women in wrestling.
Oh, one other observation, and this is not me complaining. This is not me trying to be sexist, but it's just a factual observation. Is it just me, or have all of these female wrestlers removed their breast implants? Naomi looks way different now, and a lot of these other wrestlers who used to have them seem like they've all removed them. If that was their own choice, that's a good thing. Maybe, and you gotta wonder, because back in the day, it seemed like Vince mandated that. Like, that was his thing. If you want to get ahead in this company, you just gotta get the surgery, right? Maybe that's changed. Maybe that's a good thing. that they could just be natural and be themselves and not have to get this body-altering surgery to try to get over. I think it's pretty messed up if that's actually what happened back in the day. But it sure looked like it to me. I don't know if I'm just blind, but it just looks like all these women are much smaller now in the chest. And, you know, quite frankly, they probably can do a hell of a lot more in the ring because of it. Just saying, okay? Lady Charisma says they didn't mandate it, but they paid for it. And if they're paying for something, then obviously they're probably recommending it. There you go. Anyway.
Then someone suggested that the cards that DSP opens in the packs, he sends to viewers. And DSP says he can't send them out because it'll cost $30 to send it overseas. Then remember, in the last Smart Guy, when DSP showed a picture of Piper Niven, PPP said, "Oh, look, it's Kat." And DSP said, "How dare you?" Well, now, DSP is calling Piper Niven a meat monster. So this is back in September 2nd, 2024, and it's a gift from Carrie where the pig's blood is being dropped onto her in September. It's almost like the clues were all there, Phil. And then we have Worski, who puts this out. The end game was to make funny content, do a lie detector video, and other wild ideas we had. Every idea was basically shot down. We went all in to get it in and see how far we could take it to make jokes, content, but it went nowhere. Then PPP made some jokes about him and he couldn't read the room and decided to kick PPP out of Smart Guys, so it was all for naught. Funny thing is, we had a fantastic idea to have a collaboration with LOLCOW Live with Phil, and he got all mad at us because it was his day off. But then, on our days off, he was asking us for a favor after favor. He also didn't want to work with Keem, which making him praise Keem today even more insane. He would even message while we were live to ask us live in chat and make things uncomfortable. It was so tough to keep up the act and be nice and see if this egg would hatch into something useful. DSP is downstairs crying, dude. Then this is how DSP explains Solo Guys. Today's new episode of Solo Smart Guy is live. You'll immediately notice a refreshing actual wrestling discussion and no insanely loud screaming, uncontrolled squealing, and no drama. Hope you enjoy the changes. And then when PPP went on Steven's stream, they announced that they were going to split it 50-50 whatever was made on that stream between PPP and Steven. And then PPP put this out on Twitter. Having tallied the cash from last night, I made more in one night with Steve, Felt and Phil than an entire month of Smart Guys with Phil. And then Phil complained that he was actually getting ripped off by splitting 50-50 with PPP because he had to pay taxes on top of that. And then PPP responds, "Seems like Phil got fleeced. Suffer, Phil." Then we have Audubon. "The champ is here. Now that the Kino arc is over, the prodigal son has returned." Then we see Phil saying, "Derek?" Derek walking up with his champ shirt. DSP says, "You son of a bitch." And then they embrace hand to hand. And it says, "The champ is here." First we have Gabe, who put up a picture of Carrie with the pig's blood and said, "This arc treated DSP like the main character in the film Carrie. The student body surprisingly picked a bullied, awkward girl as prom queen, but it was only a ruse to allow them to pour a bucket of pig's blood on her head during the coronation on stage." And DSP quotes this and says, "Then I think you need to watch this movie until the end," which is really weird. So he's referring to is that she kills the bullies, but at the end of the movie, Carrie dies herself after killing her mother, which I guess in this case would be his wife, which is a very weird thing to say, Phil. And then PPP notices that and quotes it. "Phil is threatening to kill others and himself now, and we're just shaking in fear, Phil." Laughing emoji. Man, get a grip, buddy. Just apologize, Phil. Don't make another ATM run for another Felton, Phil. And during his first stream, he had under 200 viewers with Kick and YouTube combined together. And what DSP likes to do, if there's any drama, something that's stressing him out, he'll spend money. And now that he has the next Lego unlocked, he's gonna look at new Legos that you have to pay him for, and on the streams pay him as well. And the first one was a Pokemon one, and then a Pac-Man arcade, by the way at $255. Another one was a Lego Marvel Venom, And we have Otter. DSP is going through Lego sets complaining how much they are. Hint hint. He milked that $40 set for 3 streams and $600. Then another one was a $121 Mario and Yoshi Lego set. And then even the Millennium Falcon for $849. Man, imagine, as Dick Stroke and Phil Vlog points out, if a generous fan donates it to him, dude. And DSP says, while looking at Legos on Amazon, you guys are getting my old school juices flowing. Okay there, settle down there, Derek. Then despite DSP saying, my wife is not part of my content, you can't attack her, you can't say anything about her, he's now saying how his wife wants to be part of his content.
But we may be doing it around the middle of next week. Here's the other factor that's involved that I want to bring up. My wife has expressed her desire. She wants to cook food for this event, okay? So because she wants to cook food, I have to do it on a day when she's home. I can't do the marathon when she's working. So I have to find out what her work schedule is for next week and potentially try to schedule the marathon on a day when she's home so that she can cook. Now, what is she going to cook? Don't know yet. Depends, okay? So I'll talk with her about this over the course of this week. Obviously, I have to get ingredients or whatever for what she's going to cook when I go grocery shopping on the weekend, and we'll go from there. But now we could start to actually hype this up because this is the next big thing. The sooner we hit the goals,
And DSP also talks about how he's changed from 5 years ago, yet still talking about Cat's health problems just like Panda, still treating PPP and Andy like John and Howard. It's almost like you haven't changed at all, Phil. And get ready for another rant about detractors and how they ruined his life. And everything in life is their fault. He did nothing wrong, he did everything correct.
Why? Because several years ago, actually at this point, holy crap, at this point it was almost 5 years ago, okay? Or 4 years ago. My detractors went on an internet campaign where they went literally from service to service to service to service that I was using for anything. We're talking every partnership, every tie-in, every pop-up, the merch company I was working with, all of it. They created a package of targeted hate towards me, which featured out-of-context clips, things from literally a decade before, some of the worst moments of my history. And they acted like that was me today. And they sent it to all of these services and said, hey, Phil's a scumbag. He's a bigot. He's a sexist. He's a pedophile. He's a racist. And here's all the evidence. Look, he has a website called thekingofhate.com. What a hateful person he is. Here's a clip of him in 2010 making a bad joke. And they sent it to all of the companies. And the problem was at that time, about 4 or 5 years ago, all the companies were becoming woke. Every single one decided we want to go liberal. So we got to make sure that if we're going to be front-facing, oh, we support everything, all this liberal progressive policies, we can't have anyone who's problematic or who could be accused of being problematic as part of these companies. So they literally canceled me from pretty much all of these kind of services.
And then, with everything going down with PPP and Kino Casino, in order to talk in DSP's Kick Chat, you now need a month-old account. And just to get back at PPP, DSP is claiming Smart Guys Yesterday was the most successful for support. And why? Because he didn't have to split it with PPP, and he didn't have to pay taxes on the part that he sent to PPP as well. Then, despite this being common knowledge, and despite him being told in the past, he is just now again finding out that Guinness is Irish.
Ask your wife.
They have a Guinness pie. Yeah, they have a Guinness pie. I guess it's made with actual Guinness beer in it. That's why they call it the Guinness pie. They have that. Tried the meat pies. Guinness is actually Irish. Oh, I didn't know that.
Motherfucker. Oh my god.
And you can tell right away, Kick support is going down from day one after his fight with PPP. And he's yelling at Kick to start supporting. And he's sitting there, just waiting for someone to give him money on the Kick side. And look at that, after 1 p.m. his time, still no gaming. And what does he do whenever there's drama, whenever there's some controversy? He talks about how YouTube was 12 years ago, before everything went woke on YouTube, and it was the Wild West. Then we have Michelle plays too many video games. Darkside Phil and his family make their way to the ring. Hashtag WWE 2K25.
Yeah, now we're talking.
And his opponent, representing the family, from Seattle, Washington, weighing in at 228 pounds, the winner, DSP!
How can either of you two breathe with all this superstar smugness just wafting through the air right now? Corey, what on earth are you talking about? The WWE Universe loves it.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time the WWE loved a self-absorbed competitor. If you smell what I'm cooking.
You cannot allow Reigns to intimidate you. Well, that's probably easier said than done. He is in for the fight of his life.
And then Andy posted this on Twitter. Tonight, total DSP destruction, the truth revealed. And then DSP yet again saying that he could be lying about tips. And he expects everyone to be okay with this. Oh, and look at that. August Duck made another video about DSP responding to him. I wonder how well this went for DSP.
Let you say though, Phil, is that what you do is somehow harder. Sure, we can say that you make original content and that you just don't talk about other people, even though you do that a lot. We can ignore that though. If you're gonna sit here and tell me that sitting down and giving your reaction to a video game is any harder than sitting down and giving your reaction to a video, you're lying to yourself. They are basically the same thing. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Phil, after watching some of your streams, I'm gonna say that what you do is easier. It doesn't seem like you even take the time to get good at the games you play. You're subpar at basically everything that I saw at best, and 9 out of 10 times the only thing you're doing is sitting there in complete silence or complaining about how it's the game's fault that you died. I clicked a random stream on Phil's channel. I'm gonna pick a random 5-minute segment from the stream, and I'm gonna show you guys every time he says something in 5 minutes. I will give you the stream title and I'll give you the timestamps so you can go check me if you think I'm lying. This is best kill streak ever as I grind for the Splinter Skin Part 74 Call of Duty Black Ops 6 multiplayer, 9 minutes to 14 minutes. This is everything he says.
Went the wrong way. It didn't kill him. The Semtex blew up on his body, which I pushed him into it, and he didn't die from it. Wow. How did he spawn? Oh my lord, he spawned behind me. Oh. He sniped through the smoke, but then I got him with a Semtex. What on earth? Wow. Why was there a mine? How did I walk through the mine, start capturing the thing, and then the mine went off? What? Nothing. I clicked. Absolutely no response, as if I had never clicked. Wow. Terrible. What? Okay, no death for no reason. Oh, it's my teammate. Cool. Watchdog coming. There we go. That made no sense. Do we each have a chopper? What the hell? This is insane.
37 seconds of original content in 5 minutes, and all he talks about in those 37 seconds is how it's the game's fault for every single time that he dies. This one's my favorite.
That made no sense.
My brother in Christ, what do you mean that doesn't make any sense? You were literally blocking the bullets with your face. Bullets are pretty bad for the human body, even in video game form. So, yeah, calling this original content is kind of fucking wild. You're not even interacting with your chat. You're just sitting there in silence, only talking when you die. That's basically what you do when you play a video game off stream. What you're doing is not making content. So sure, talk all you want about how commentary content is not that hard to make, but do not trick yourself for a minute, Phil, that you're working any harder.
I exist in the center of this weird universe, and this parasite vortex exists around me. If I turn off my camera and never broadcast again, 1,000 people have nothing to do tomorrow. So every one of them can get fucked. None of what you say matters. None of your criticism is valid. You're a bunch of fucking loser lowlifes, and you don't mean anything to me.
Putting on this big tough man act when tomorrow you're just gonna go right back to begging your audience to give you money so you can continue to play games instead of getting a real job? Kind of a bad look, bud.
And yes, I am going to make money. I am going to ask for contributions, and you're gonna like it. Because I'm successful and you're not. Because success doesn't mean you steal success from someone else. It means you make it for yourself, which is what I have always done and you could never do because you don't have talent. Get it?
And people have to stop asking DSP, what's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? Especially when money's involved. Because he will never answer it. He will never tell you, oh, this is my favorite this is my favorite that, or even, oh, this is one of my favorites. The guy's a jackass.
Speaking of throwbacks, do you have a favorite playthrough you've done? I think Heavy Rain was my favorite. Man, there's so many good ones I've done over the years, really. Some of the ones that are the best are the ones you don't think are going to be good, and they end up being like really fun times, you know, just hanging out. So, I don't know. I honestly don't know if I have like a favorite out of all of them.
And we have this from Pescator. Cat has risen, and she is hungry. This is really sad. So DSP's gonna say he learned a lot about Japan by playing Yakuza, which of course video games are over the top exaggerations, but DSP takes them word for word.
What is the gimmick with Yakuza games? Essentially, it is Japanese culture immersion. When you're playing a Yakuza game, you're really just focusing heavily on Japanese culture, cuisine, jokes. You know, everything you can think of that's Japanese is usually involved in a Yakuza game, and I really like that about it. I mean, to be honest, I learned a ton over the years about Japanese culture by playing these games.
Hi. Then we have Gamerface Gaming shows off a picture of Phil with his poker chips, but this time, the face on the case is DSP's. And look at that. Dr. Lexus gifted 100 subs to Kino Casino. Looks like this whale might be coming home soon. And then someone in the chat asked him again, will you unban Derek now? Now it's time for DSP to do a couple of quizzes in Yakuza, and it goes as well as you think.
The hell's that? In which of the following sports do athletes place particular emphasis on lifting weights with neck muscles? I don't know, clay pigeon shooting. Which of the boneless cut of chicken is best for muscle building due to its high protein and low fat? That's the breast. Which of the following is not part of the Big 3 workout, which helps improve core strength? The bench press and the push-up are similar. I'll say the squat. I don't know. Which of the following is the largest muscle in the average adult male body? Oh, God. I don't even know what these are. The quadricep, the delts, the rectus abdominis, which is the ass, the rectum, or the pectoralis major? I don't know, I'll say the delts. Of the following veggies, which is the most nutrients and also the most effective at helping build a muscle? Oh my God. Is that kale? Green bean, broccoli, and cucumber? Probably not cucumber or zucchini. I'll say kale, I have no idea. I definitely flunked this one. This is a flunk. Ew. I knew it. I didn't know half that shit. So it's F1 racing. I did get the chicken breast right. The push-up, okay. Quadricep and broccoli. Oh, that's lettuce? I thought it was kale. It was regular lettuce. Oh shit, if I knew that, I would have known that wasn't it. Expertise? Well, we know I'm gonna master this one. Yeah, right. Which of the following glasses is most commonly used to emphasize champagne? It's a champagne flute, right there. Which of the following cocktails has Hawaii in the name? Oh, I have no idea. Is it Blue Hawaii? Maybe it's the Blue Hawaii. When mixing a cocktail, what should be added to the device shown here? Ice. It's a shaker. Shaken, not stirred.
This is a toughie.
Sometimes a bartender may serve whiskey on the rocks by adding a sphere of ice. Which of the following is false compared to regular ice cubes? Melts more slowly, easier to prepare, less likely to slide in your mouth. It looks more attractive. It's easier to prepare. It's harder to prepare.
This is a toughie.
What does it mean to order a single or double whiskey? Which whiskey to pour? How much whiskey to pour? There you go. Of course I know my liquor. Come on. Come on. Look at that. Of course I knew all the answers for liquor. Why wouldn't I? Of course. That would be embarrassing if I got any of those wrong. Here we go. Okay.
Now it's time to see what Kino Casino had to say about Phil, and we waited months and months and months for this. And this is just show number 1. They said they're going to do multiple shows and drip feed information, possibly even DMs about DSP. And man oh man, if this is the first show, the rest of the year is going to be glorious.
Well, this is like the God's honest truth about all of this is like, when there's like a fucking retarded, like nerdy kid that you let hang out with you, but you just humiliate him constantly. Like that was the actual energy of our relationship with Phil. It was some fucking guy who was so desperate for friendship that he allowed himself to be humiliated and debased again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
He yelled at us about why Kick didn't verify him right away. And he said that it was an insult to him that they didn't immediately verify him and give him like a deal and all of this stuff. It's like, first of all, man, I don't run Kick. Like, I don't have like
Eddie.
a moderator. I don't know Eddie. I'm not able to pull these strings for you, man. Second of all, like, you have to actually meet the metrics, man. And you actually have to like be legit. And what this guy was doing, by the way, now listen, I guarantee you that Kick would have verified him and probably done something for him had he moved all of his stuff to Kick.
Yeah.
But what he decided to do was just do a mirror. So they're not getting the exclusivity of Phil. And so why? But even despite all of this, Kick has put Phil on the front page numerous times. They've tried to promote him. They've given him opportunities, but Phil is just like a complete narcissistic, delusional piece of shit that believes that because he sent a mirror, which, by the way, for Phil to learn how to use, what's it called, where you send out Restream. For Phil to figure out how to use Restream, it was like the biggest ordeal in the history
I'll write
of the
tutorial.
world. I think, Andy, you had to teach him how to fucking use Restream, no? Like, you had to explain to him that it was even possible to stream to 2 sites at once.
I got so mad, I just sent him a YouTube video.
About, like, how hard he worked in order to do this. It's like, after all that I've done, how hard I worked for Kick to not approve me instantly is an insult.
I can
to
find
me
that
and
fucking
my audience.
message. Yeah, I have to scroll up
It's
for a minute.
It's like fucking crazy. Well, you're gonna be scrolling for a while because the guy sends 10,000 fucking DMs. So he has his daily or his stream goal, right? So it's 150, and it was as of a couple weeks ago, but now he's too lazy to even do this. So if he got $150 on a stream, which was the goal, he would eat a piece of candy for the $150.
Okay.
But then that would count as one goal towards 10 goals. And every 10 goals, he'll then eat fast food. So every $1,500 gives him fast food. every $150, you get to see him eat a piece of candy. Now, he actually owes still 4 pieces of candy that he refused to eat. Because apparently it was too much effort to eat the tiny piece of candy.
To anyone who's like, Andy, how aren't you understanding? I understand what Ashton's saying. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it.
But then every $5,000 of support, he'll do a marathon. The most recent marathon, every $5,000.
Oh.
He'll do a gaming marathon.
Okay. In total.
Where he'll drink alcohol, but it's $100 a shot. And the entire time, he'll complain about how he's not drunk or buzzed enough, and he needs you to give him more money to drink.
He's watering it down.
He's a piece of shit.
He's watering it down. Is this true?
It's actually insane.
By the way, guys, it's so good to get this off my chest. Yeah. Ask Ashton. Tell him about my text messages to you about Phil.
You were so happy, man.
No, before that, while that was happening, all caps lock. Fucking shit, I hate him. I hate him. Please.
Well, we would be DMing while he was on the show saying, this guy sucks. You know, we were on the air. I'm like typing, this guy's really boring, huh? Like, what are we going to do? He's not really saying anything or doing anything. So Dark Side Phil has a secret menagerie of exotic animals. I'm not kidding. I'm serious.
Wait.
And I'm not just talking about his pig wife, okay? Or his son Jasper the cat. He has a menagerie of exotic pets.
Okay, what does he have?
Well, we won't expose all of the pets that Phil has.
Come on.
Because we're gonna drip feed, but this is apparently where a lot of the money has been going to. Is to the King Zoo project.
May I ask questions? Like exotic? Are we talking tigers or parrots or like Amazonian fish?
Rodimus Prime says this is bullshit. Well, listen, he described them as exotic pets. I don't really think they're that exotic. Let's let the mystery build of Phil's illegal zoo.
We'll have more. Don't worry.
But Phil took it to a whole other level of just a black hole of negativity and learned helplessness and just sadness that it was just unbearable. Especially when he started in these last couple weeks really dumping on me about his personal issues, about Kat yelling at him. And, you know,
what did she yell at him about? Tell us.
Actually, I probably shouldn't have said that, but yeah, Kat a number of times has yelled at Phil.
About what?
And he's told me, well, one of them was when Steve fucking felted Phil. And I guess Kat just fucking tore into. She didn't know until the next day when she, I guess, overheard Phil talking about it the next day during the pre-stream. And then fucking.
Why? What was she yelling? You're pathetic like that. Like, what was the?
Yeah, I mean, she was like, "Are you fucking stupid? You promised me you would never do this again after the Side Scrollers interview."
Oh, she'll be mad about this, huh?
You fucking idiot! You stupid, like.
She's getting so mad about this. Is there any other times she yelled at him for something? What about ordering food? Did she like? All right, go. Tell us one more.
Let's move on. It's being it's nasty.
Okay.
It's nasty.
Okay.
It's too far.
It'll be drip fed apparently. Okay.
I don't understand it. That doesn't make sense to me because I'm not burning.
Like,
listen,
thank God.
Everybody now officially has permission. Stop glazing Phil. In
Right
fact,
now.
I command that everyone stop glazing and donating to Phil and instead felt this motherfucker to the end of time.
Yeah.
Specialty pizza and an appetizer. If I get Papa John's,
while Medicare is dying of cancer, tweets at him like 5 times, paragraphs demanding an interview.
and he called him a coward. Now, I'm going to be real. I told him to do all that. I told him to do all that shit. He did it.
You should call him a coward.
Yeah, I said to call Jim a coward and say he's a pussy and he's afraid to face you.
That's so demonic, bro.
Before it's too late.
He's the one bringing up my wife, which he apologizes for, says he knows it's wrong, and it does it again anyway.
Retard alert.
And like, it's just strange. The guy is a very strange individual when it comes to sexuality. I think he might be a repressed, closeted homosexual, judging by the sort of things he would say to Andy, like that he wanted to see his shredded body, he was his gaming soulmate. Okay. It might be that, or it may just be that he has no normal human sexuality. I'm not sure which it is, but probably one of the two.
And then everything got back to Phil during Friday Night Fights, and we have this from John. Hey everyone, hey Phil, sorry to hear about your rabbit. I didn't know you had so many pets. Could you show them on stream? Maybe I can toss you a few bucks to help feed them. Then we have, my mom made wife ate my dead rabbit. Have you tried rabbit and Jasper stew? Then we have this super chat from, please stop buying exotic animals, rip, poor rabbit. Kino Casino snaked you. Laugh my ass off. How many times did you say they wouldn't? And then DSP doesn't understand why Kick Chat is so slow today. Usually there's more people. And then PPP said, Phil has the weekend to apologize or DMs will start leaking. And then Argentina brothers and sisters were out. 50 gifted DSP gaming memberships from Stroke Face Phil. And then we have a picture of Cat beating up Phil, Mr. Stuff. This bad Photoshop I made in 2018 is apparently real now. Then look at that, Kino Casino Gaming, 4.3 thousand people. DSP Gaming Real, 71 people. Then we have Great White Hype. I wonder if Phil still feels like this from 6 months ago.
I'm back. Really, like this is the beginning of a comeback. One of the biggest comebacks, I think, in YouTube history.
I'm back.
And then DSP does what he does to cope. $1,637 on the dot in WWE Champions if he did not get Liv Morgan. $1,101 if he did get Liv Morgan. And that's how the week ended. This is an exciting chapter. Kino arc is over. DSP is no longer buddy-buddy with PPP and Andy. The internet turned its back on him again. He's back to being the whipping boy. 2025 is off to a wild start, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So don't forget to click that like, share the video, leave a comment below, hit subscribe my other channels on the details of the end cards, and as always, I love each and every one of you. Hope you're all safe, healthy, and happy. Peace and love.
Whispers in the dark side, where shadows start to creep. Echoes of a laugh now buried deep begin to weep. Built a castle on illusions, watching it decay. Delusions of grandeur, crumbling day by day. Raging in the mirror, fist against the glass. Can't face the shattered pieces of a tarnished past. Betrayal in the air, well it thickens like a brew. Every friendly smile turning coldly into two. Specters of detractors celebrating in the night. Falling from the pedestal in an endless flight. Everyone's abandoning the sinking ship so fast. Losing grip on reality. Can't outrun the past. Anger is a wildfire burning through his veins, staring at the sky, screaming out in vain. Crowd of traitors gathering, and they want the throne. rushing to fantasies alone. Dreams of grandeur broken, scattered on the floor. Reality's a prison